because you just decay and you run in and you put your tombstone down and, you know, not flashy.
And then you walk away,
but
you're
but you get the job done, you know. You're that guy that helps your team in the laning phase.
That's when MNT just throws Spartan on the Undying and he's whatever. So, but yeah, they ban out the Lifestealer. I mean, Lifestealer he already has a method of, he has a vehicle with the Sand King in a way, and he matches up very well versus Batrider and Rubik.
It's like one of the few carries that can lane alone against Batrider. I think we see BP do this a lot. They leave the Lifestealer on his own in the lane, and the other two supports, like the Ogre and the IO, they just go around. They kill the other lanes. So that's probably what Adfinan are really worried about, the pressure coming into other lanes, because in the last game, their carry player Madara had so much pressure on his lane and he couldn't really farm.
Sniper is still in the pool. If there's an Ogre in the enemy team, is Sniper out of the question? Because
no, I think Sniper is a really good pick right now in the current meta. He fits in a lot of lineups. You want to pick him in a situation where obviously there's no gap closers on the opposing side. Because he's really weak. He's like somewhat similar to Drow. You don't want the enemy to be up in your face. And if you have a good lineup around it, like what kind of heroes you want around Sniper? Heroes that are very tanky, they are very good frontliners, they are very good distractions. Clockwork, Sand Kings are very good examples of that. They distract the enemy.
Oh, there's a bounty hunter still.
So they still go for it, but it's later on, so it's a different. It's
well,
not
still, I'm not so sure about the bounty pick yet again, because Sand King and Ogre are like super strong lane. And it's gonna, like I mentioned, as a bounty hunter, you want to be able to have that flexibility to roam around. You don't want to worry about, oh, my lane is actually getting destroyed bottom. Sand King Ogre can actually do that to you.
And I mean, Ogre's so beefy, he just can kind of walk around, waddle around. You're not really gonna
he can like easily solo kill you with a dust on Ogre. So that's gonna be something that MNT has to be watching out in the game.
Still it is a pressure thing though, right? With the Batrider, you can still pressure the safe lane quite a bit with like those type of dual lanes, but not as much as like an Undying Batrider, obviously.
So out of interest, where do you think this not resilience, what's the word, persistence with Bounty Hunter has come from? Do they genuinely believe and have theory crafted how this is going to counter newbie? Do you think?
Comfort picks.
It's just as simple as that.
It's like his. I mean, MNT's probably one of his best heroes.
I think it's also something that I talked about before. They already have an idea and a plan how to approach newbie, and they feel like Bounty could fulfill that role for them. They want to keep fighting, so you get tracked. You exchange kills, you get the better trade, and you have a hero that can place vision, and that is the Oracle.
You called it.
It's even better now versus the bounty too, because you can purge off the track.
That is actually a very annoying thing for the bounty.
It does have a fairly long cooldown though.
Well, if you level it up, then you'll be fine. Because most games, Oracle, you choose to max your Fate's Edict.
Is that our first puck?
I think we've seen it once
before.
They've
played it before here, right?
I mean, it tells you that they are building up into a very big.
Yeah, they lost with the.
They are building up into a very big carry. If you look at the first 4 heroes of Adfinan, they are all heroes that are able to fight easily. They don't need much items. They are going to be creating space for someone. So someone really, really big.
It was a Thug playing Puck as well, by the way. So if you know you're going to be up against a Puck, if you're newbie, what's your mid laner going to be?
Most of the heroes can destroy Puck. Like TA would be a very good
TA is best,
I love TA.
But TA will be up against Batrider. That's not too shabby for him. But still, you talk about a laning phase, TA is going to destroy Puck. Oh.
Do we have to do that again?
Nah, leave him alone. Let him rest. Oh, no, he
knows. He's chilling.
He knows.
He's just ready for the dotes.
Well, they're just going for all the heroes that are very difficult for Batrider to deal with. Very difficult for him to lasso the slug.
Oh!
Hey!
The Boston Major's going on. No time for sleeping.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Slark very good versus Batrider. He's also great versus Rubik and Bounty. But Puck is decent versus him, obviously, with your burst potential till he's a bit stronger.
Puck is really good against the Oracle, because we mentioned how Oracle's going to counteract the Batrider initiation. So basically right now they have two ways of jumping. So when you jump one person, you need to make sure, okay, you need to take care of the Oracle, whoever goes first, and the second guy needs to go for the Oracle to make sure Oracle doesn't, give the save.
Yeah, they already have like the vision with the bounty hunter, so he's able to like kind of scout out the back lines, and they can go for like this double force of initiation.
They ban out the TA, and newbie ban out the big hero, the anti-mage.
What's Madara gonna play?
He needs to play like something like a Sven. Takes a lot of farm.
Damn,
all the 3 spirits.
Yeah,
1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
He's played Sven good amount.
Newbie, on the other hand, would need their SCC hero against the Puck. You want a good matchup. Invoker still there. Pretty good matchup for that. And you have a Sand King stun to initiate for the Sunstrike, and Oracle as well. You have the 2-second disable at level 1, so it's pretty good at landing, setting up for the Sunstrike.
Susceptible though. to the
Yeah,
Bounty Hunter Puck.
he's weak against the gank, though. That's the other issue about Invoker. But he does offer a lot for the team in general, the whole team.
Running out of time for Newbie.
Yeah, I'm just more thinking what could be still a Madara hero in this situation.
You're still thinking about Madara?
I'm still thinking about that. We've seen him play some amazing
They
slugs.
can wait for the last pick, you know.
They
So
go
They
for
can,
DK.
yeah.
DK is great versus Puck. Obviously, like with Raindrop introduced, Puck's fallen off in quite favor just because of that. But DK obviously has the instant stun to be dealing with that.
the other reason why DK is great against Puck is because of the how you play the hero. Because Puck, when you get level 6, you want to roam, you want to TP, you want to push, sorry, gank, not push towers, and DK is going to push your tower. Once you leave the lane, he pops the ultimate. So it's like a counter in a way where the playstyle counter, but not the hero counter.
Yeah, basically you have to pay a price. Every time you want to do what you're supposed to, you're paying the price.
And for Adfinum, the big hero, talk about, okay, that's the big hero. The
Morphling.
That's one that they need. They need something that can farm. Like Sven, I don't think is going to be enough for them because he just doesn't match up that well versus like Slark and DK. Just too much. Like they'll scale to a point where Sven will just fall apart. Yeah.
Morphling is going to be the split push.
All right.
Oh, man.
Interesting.
Well, it is locked in. Adfinum and Newbie. Will Adfinum go home after looking so good? Top of the EU regional qualifiers. They managed to make every single series in their group stage a full 3 games. Will this be the first 2-0 they concede? We're about to find out with your casters. Will the Greeks go home, or will it look like a scene from 300? We're about to find out with your casters. It's Capitalist and Malini.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be shirtless, but I'm sure Adfinum are going to be putting on one hell of a scene with this very interesting composition we have. A Bounty Hunter and a Puck, 3-4 pickup for Adfinum. We knew they had to go for some sort of hard carry. They went for a little bit more comfort, I suppose, in the Morphling, but Merlini, is it really enough? They're facing a Slark and a Dragon Knight.
I think it's more so all their other heroes seem pretty heavily countered. The Bat Rider against the Oracle and the Slark. The Puck gets generally destroyed all game by a Dragon Knight. It's going to be a very tough one to pull off, I think. They are underhanded in the draft once again.
They're going to have to do a whole lot more in the laning phase than they did last time in order to really get some momentum, the kind of heroes that they have, and particularly that Puck. Of course, Thug, though, I mean, this is a guy who's been known for his very aggressive mid-play, going all the way back to MLG Austin when he first stood in for Adfinum when they went to that tournament, and they unfortunately could not have Kaiser Soze there. Thug, who was a Lino spammer at the time, was very much known for being able to win his lane and they be able to take that momentum and just control the game from there. And that's absolutely what they need from him this game out of the Puck in a tough matchup against that Dragon Knight.
He does have the Bounty Hunter, though. Straight Puck versus DK, I think, is just pretty poor for the Puck. But with the Bounty Hunter, that changes things completely. They really need a Bounty Hunter to do a lot, even more so than last game, which I think he did a decent job of killing the Courier and wasting a lot of their time scouting out information. But this game, they need kills. There's just no other way around it. You can split push all you want, but if Puck doesn't get a lot of kills and Bat Rider doesn't get a lot of kills, I think they're going to lose even with a very farmed morph.
Newbie protecting themselves with 4 heroes at the bottom lane. And Adfinum will pick up the top bounty rune here. Maybe next time, trying to get some information as the supports move on out. He's going to see Faith body blocking up and probably having a hand in this middle lane. You said, well, it's not just the Puck versus the Dragon Knight. We also have the Bounty Hunter. But Ogre is another hero that is notorious for his early lane harassment.
He already has a healing salve, so there is really no reason for the chicken to come back to him, really. So there's very little chance of a chicken snipe from them. And they see Faith. Can they lift him up onto the high ground? I mean, Morphling with level 1 Morph is not the best kill partner for that.
I mean, both a Sand King and an Ogre are both very strong lane presence, and it's a struggle to see how a Bounty Hunter and a Rubik are going to be able to upset this balance.
They have the range, I mean. That's the one thing that they have going for them in this lane.
They need to be able to keep KP off of the lane as much as possible because Morphling is a hero that suffers against Sand King due to his naturally low range. He does put himself in danger against that Caustic Finale. So the supports definitely need to have a presence in lane, at least in the first couple of levels here. See our off lane, of course, our Bat Rider matched up against the Oracle as well as the Slark. Thanks to the Slark's laning presence, this won't be a free lane for Skylark necessarily, especially due to Dark Pack just being able to easily keep off those stacks of Sticky Napalm.
And how's this big stack going to be treated by Skylark? There is a double stack. It is getting taken out on the north side, and meanwhile on the south side.
Yeah, they're trying to contest this hard camp pull. Plus, it's Centaurs. Centaurs probably one of the weaker of the hard camps. Newbie should be able to easily take most of this CS and still pull the rest of the creeps back. They're fighting around him, using Caustic Finale quite well. In our mid lane matchup, Thug is winning in the CS 10-2, but SC is not too far behind at 8-1, and this is only going to get harder as time goes on.
He does have a sentry there protecting him, not the biggest deal, but expecting the bottle timing coming out, and maybe next time is almost spot on as he goes behind, but this thing is just sitting at the T2 tower.
Yeah, looks like SC is going to make his run back here.
Yep, he sees it, and SCCC has probably played a lot of pubs, and I guess a lot of people
maybe
who have
next
camped in
time,
mid.
maybe on the way back he can actually get it, and it would be even better if SC puts the bottle back with the Courier, but maybe next time Invis runs out at the wrong time, and now the Courier, it's going to chill out at this tier 2. Meanwhile, on top lane, we are going to have a battle here. The Courier may be in danger, but Skylark is also in some trouble as U9 is heading his way into that. He was trying to battle over this hard camp pull, and once again, he is going to try and pull it out to try and get his creeps and the creep equilibrium onto his favor. Oh, Spartan's going to be in some trouble. The range is actually blocking him out. Spartan is going to have to eat through a tree. Nice telekinesis top back down into Fate, and Spartan will barely stay alive through that Caustic Finale pop. Maybe next time does manage to snatch that one up. Indeed, KP looking for Spartan, but Spartan is ahead of both of these heroes as they try and make for the dive. They will manage to slow him down with the Ignite, and KP looks like he'll be able to run him down. Pops the mango. Spartan tries to juke him out once again, but no tricks up his sleeve. First blood will be picked up by KP.
At least Bounty Hunter got the chicken snipe. He was very patient. He got it just before the 3-minute mark, so almost no chance for Newbie to upgrade in time. But you can't always micro that Courier. I was thinking maybe they could like patrol it around the tower, but it's very difficult. Like Newbie, they have other things to do, like CS and make sure that Skylark doesn't put too much pressure on the lane. So they just kept their eyes off the chicken for a second, and Bounty Hunter swooped in.
Yeah, they do have this counter ward already set up, so they just saw the ward. They're kind of baiting Kaka into a situation here. Skylark is going to try and abuse this cliff area, gets down. Meanwhile, Kaka is having some trouble with maybe next time. Didn't realize that there was going to be another hero here. Maybe they can run him down even under tower. I say that, though. TP's going to come in. They're going to have to give up on that attempted kill as Faith does ensure this tri-lane stays alive against the Bat Rider's aggression.
And now they have Faith bringing him items. If you look in his inventory, he has a magic stick. That's SCCC. So the chicken Courier, I mean, Dragon Knight's forced to walk back to base. That's a sad time if you're a mid. You never really want to walk back.
Meanwhile, like Thug's just getting more and more of a CS advantage, so it seems like with the help and maybe next time they have managed to win this lane. And Thug already has a TP scroll. That's very important. Now, Puck is one of those heroes that the panel talked about. He rotates out of his lane so much, and Thug at a moment's notice could have an impact in either one of the side lanes with his fresh Dream Coil.
And looks like top may be their next point of attack, perhaps, with that Dream Coil, as Bounty Hunter places a ward behind the T1 tower. They know the Oracle is very weak right now. They've only had one hero, one support up top, rather. The Ogre has come in, but only for a brief moment, and it's mostly just the Oracle. They can keep them down and at least prevent them from stacking.
KP trying to play around the neutrals, but it's going to be gone on here. Toss back, a Burrow Strike will let him escape from Madara's harassment. Now here comes the first rotation of the Puck. It's going to be nice and early with a double damage and a smoke. Maybe next time he's scouting out these heroes. Thug can easily line up a jump, but he's not going to go on the Slark. Instead, they're going to get the free kill on Kaka. The Oracle should be going down here. Ends up getting his double damage purged off. Not a big deal. They're still going to try and make the dive, it looks like, onto U9 if they can actually just keep him in place. But never mind. Another Courier hunt for maybe next time goes awry. Unable to snipe that one.
So they're getting some kills with the Puck, but only one kill in the game for them. At least Puck's slightly ahead of CS in the mid lane, as well as the Morphling in the bottom lane. So I would say they came out pretty decently in the lane, at least much better than last game.
Spartan in some trouble now. He's actually going to try and run up here, but as he's on the other side, he's going to pop his ultimate. Telekinesis is there, tosses him away, trying to get as much distance away from that Dragon Tail as possible, leading Newbie on a chase here, but he obviously will be caught eventually. A second kill going to Newbie now.
That Caustic hit really hurt him. Maybe he could have gotten away if he TP'd immediately, but he did not know how close the DK was, nor how close the Ogre was. And Kaka is still in full vision of that Observer ward. You probably realizes that there's a ward behind the tower considering Shadow Dance is up. But Kaka, he walks out. He does not have Fate's Edict.
One of the beautiful things, though, about that Purge, it purged off the sticky napalm, so he is able to get some distance away from Skylark. And again, Newbie will... They seem to always have a TP ready to go for this top lane against a Bat Rider. They seem very well prepared against this kind of strategy, bringing first the Ogre and this time around bringing KP all the way up to the top lane. But is his movement going to be worth it? He may have defended Kaka, but that's not worth it by itself. They actually get a kill on the Thug. That'll be much better. They managed to get the Burrow Strike. SC unable to get the secondary stun here as Spartan finally shows himself with the telekinesis. The coil will keep the rest of these heroes back. Newbie failed to get an initiation that succeeds onto Thug.
Look at maybe next time again.
Yeah,
He's
man.
ready. He's so ready.
This guy never stops. Is he going to get it, though?
He's probably on that quest.
He's level 3. He's got Shinana. He's got the Invis. The Courier does not have a boost. It will easily be run down by the Bounty Hunter. That'll be level 4 for him on top of everything else.
Getting a lot of gold.
Oh, they're going on bottom lane. They actually just laid out the ward. CKP come forward a bit, but he does go for the early level in Sandstorm. That decreases his kill power and harassment with Caustic Finale, but it does allow him to be able to disjoint some of that damage. And we could see the power of this Morphling is really amping up now that he's level 7. His lane presence is kind of at a peak.
The kills in the lane are so hard with raindrops. Like Bounty Hunter was super popular as well as Puck at some point, but...
Waiting. His Invis is going to run out. Maybe next time he's going to have to re-up it here before they go for this initiation. Spartan, can he actually catch it with the telekinesis? Not going to happen. With the combination of Dream Coil, they just needed 4 more seconds. That's what they were waiting on. If Thug has the Dream Coil, there's no way that a Burrow Strike by itself would allow KP to escape, but...
He's too fast with the trinks.
Yeah.
And vision-wise...
Oh, they saw this one coming, I think.
Yeah.
They saw those heroes rotating through river. Skylark's already backed up.
There is a double stack that kind of is available to him, but probably not really willing to go for that at this moment. But DK's usually just parks in lane, so as soon as he goes missing on the map and he wasn't low and you don't expect him to go healing, it's pretty obvious that he is going to rotate to one of the lanes, try and get a kill, and push a tower.
Pulling the creep wave off the tower, that'll help out quite a bit.
As you scan, they know that maybe next time is around it pings red. They do have a dust available, and it will miss.
No, he's barely outside of range.
Whew, that was close. He was on the northeast side of that scan and not directly in the middle, which perhaps we had expected. But they are on to his antics for sure.
Maybe next time. I feel like he kind of wants to be a part of this experience of this clear through the neutrals, but he doesn't want to risk a potential counter ward that could be already laid down as a trap, so he will just try and get more information for his team.
And Morphling's pretty happy with the way that the pace of the game is going. DK still hasn't really done too much damage to any of the T1 towers, and he's just happy farming away. Top rune, SCCC runs through the smoke, does not get lifted.
And now they're going to still try and run him down with the Dragon Knight, but Faith is here to try and stop things. Actually, they get a telekinesis, stoling him up and throw him into the river. Now Skylark can chase him down. Lasso might not even be needed here. Skylark is just going to be able to pair up with the rest of his teammates, run down the Ogre. 2-2 now as Ad Venom even up the score at 10 minutes.
Definitely wanted the DK there, but any sort of experience is going to be pretty important for maybe next time Blink Dagger hits onto the Pug. You have the Arcane on the Bounty Hunter. Only thing you're missing is Trek. Tome of XP isn't going to carry him to level 6, so they need +1 or some lane time. Skylark.
Yeah, he's in serious trouble. He doesn't have Firefly for another 3 seconds. Trying to buy himself time with the lasso. He does have the help of Spartan actually coming in. Run behind. Maybe next time we'll be able to manage to get the catch with the help of Thug. They bring down the Oracle at bare minimum.
This Puck's doing work. He's in the right place at the right time, but I would say Bounty Hunter is contributing a lot more to Ad Venom right now, and you can see why it's a top-tier pick for them.
Yeah, look at that. U9 is pinging out the ward spot on top of that cliff. Little does he know that's actually a Bounty Hunter there, so that may be Newbie counter-warding the wrong spot. Faith is going to come along. He's going to be, I'll throw down the counter-ward. I'll take that ward. He's like, hey, what the hell, Slark? You told me there was a ward
look at
here.
The chicken. The chicken again.
Oh, no,
maybe next time,
you monster. Stop it. Stop it right now. 3 courier kills in 11 minutes.
He should be nicknamed Chicken Hunter or Courier Hunter, whatever you want to call it.
Newbie, you thought you were going to get your courier back to base. Maybe next time, indeed. Thug's going to be in some trouble. Throws out his orb, blinks the other direction, doesn't actually jump to his orb in time. He's in serious trouble, actually. He doesn't have a TP for another 5 seconds. Throws down the coil, but SC is there. They easily clean up a huge kill of a Puck. Puck has been playing rather slow. He's been sitting more in lane. Has only rotated up to that top lane twice. But he picked up his Blink Dagger in good timing. But unfortunately, he has not had an impact when it comes to bringing down a core.
Maybe next time with, what is that, the 3rd chicken kill, I believe, this game?
Yep.
Is that a 3-star on the quest?
1 in 3 minutes. Yeah. All about the quest. Spartan's loving it. Down a game, but spirits are still high for Ad Finum, especially with this start in game number 1. Another dust. This time around, maybe next time. I don't even know how he does it. I thought he was going to run into that counter ward, but he doesn't even do that much. He's going to run into it now. They do have the combo here.
Nah, he's playing around it.
Oh, he really is. He's just on the edges of the actual counter ward itself.
So Spartan's level 6 now. They have more potential for plays. Kaka.
See the Bat Rider.
He does not have Blink Dagger. He needs some way to slow him down or speed up Skylark.
Yeah, Kaka's still got his ultimate. He's kind of baiting next time. Of course, all of Nubia are going to be able to come in straight into the jungle. Skylark's going to be caught as well. They stun him up. Can't get back to the cliff in time. Nicely baited out by Kaka. They read that whole entire time thanks to this super defensive ward that was paired up with the counter ward. They saw the Bat Rider's rotation, even if they didn't see maybe next time.
But that's an over-aggressive move that is going to come to haunt them as Bat Rider's gold. He is
so close to the Blink Dagger.
He must be in a lot of despair as he... Like, I have 1,600. If I got that kill, or if I didn't, if I wasn't involved at all, I would have my Blink by now. That's one that you definitely do not want to give up. And they still haven't made good use of track up as of yet, but looking to change that as Thug and maybe next time.
Strikes twice in a row. They got that kill in top lane, 2 kills, make it a 3rd. Now as the Shadow Blade's going to pop out. Spartan actually gets some distance here. He's got the Dark Pact, but he's just 1 hit. And there it is. The early Shadow Blade will get him another kill. At least you can say that Shadow Blade wasn't used to pick off a core of Ad Finum. But Newbie are not done being aggressive just yet. They're going to go for Madara here. He just picked up at the Lincolns, though. They popped it with the Burrow Strike now, and maybe Dragon Knight can actually get the stun before the next Lincolns is up in 4 more seconds. SC, the smoke pops, actually jump forward here from Madara. He managed to kill the Sand King before he gets caught by this whole entire initiation. He needs to be able to get out of Replicate. Madara, he's weeding his way through the trees with the Quelling Blade. Is he actually dodging all this? No way. Madara, he comes out with the waveform. Now they've got Kaka, they've got the silence. Madara, a magician. He pops out, appears. He's going for SC now. He's trying to actually get the extra kill. Thug, they've got the nukes coming in. Thug has another round of nukes in just a couple of seconds here. Is going to blink forward, but no, decides against it. Blinks backward instead. U9 is here with the Shadow Blade, but he's already been met with a silence from the Puck. A clean retreat from Ad Finum as Madara. Can anyone match this carry?
Maybe next time in the back, looking for perhaps a low HP hero or stopping U9's region. Yeah, Madara, the Quelling Blade on Morphling really made the difference there. He was able to just run around the trees in a very unusual path. And I like the aggressive play on the thing. He's like, screw this. You guys are wrapping around behind him. I'm just going to kill your... Look at this. These Quelling Blade tricks.
He gets the Sand King underneath tower. He dodges all of this. And another kill.
They're playing very well against the DK. I like how the Puck's trying to always catch the DK and then phase right after so he doesn't get Dragon Tailed. Like, it's so hard being Puck.
Yeah. Think how little they've... Oh, there's the Blink Dagger. They managed to catch Kaka. That's hugely important. He's the only counter to this Bat Rider at this point in time. The rest of Newbie will complete their TPs and attempt to contest this off-lane tower push, but it's just not going to happen. They're going to Burrow Strike out of the Dream Coil, but Thug is still there thanks to his Jarb.
And Sand King was at that critical, like, 1,800 gold mark right before that death. And now that Bat Rider has his Blink and they have track online, they are bloodthirsty.
They lost their Tier 1 tower and mid, but Thug, you thirsty, my friend. He's actually going not for Yule Scepter off of that Staff of the Wizardry. He's going for the Dagon.
It's great versus the Dragon Knight. A much safer build is the Veil, which offers more magic damage and armor at the expense of less single target bursts. It's a much more common build, but you know, if you want to pick off the Oracle, which I think is his main job this game.
Right.
If Batrider can't get on top of him, and if you want to deal a lot of damage to the high armor DK, I think it's an appropriate choice.
Yeah, and it also puts a lot of pressure on that Slark as well. He potentially may not be able to get off a Shadow Dance at the right times if the burst damage just comes a bit too quick.
Yeah, they need a little bit more farm, though, on the Rubik, I think, to really make a big difference. You want as many ways to initiate as possible and as many opportunities to gank, and with just the Puck and the Batrider having the Blink Daggers, it may be a little bit of a problem for them, but maybe not, because Morphling is just super farmed. Looks like he might get another team.
Time to go on Safari here. U9 will manage to pop the Shadow Blade, goes straight for Spartan. Really isn't. Oh, the Dark Pact is going to be beautiful enough to be able to pick up a support and manage to get the escape. Dark Pact still going to be able to go off. Now Skylar's in trouble. He thought he could still pick up the carry. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, KP is being gone on by both maybe next time and Thug, but gets saved by Kaka's Oracle. And the rest of Newbie will all TP up into this mid-tier 1 tower. Adfinum again losing their Rubik and Batrider as they try and push aggressively into Newbie's jungle.
Well played by the Slark there. He's definitely well versed in how to play against Bat, and are they going to? Ooh, wasted another one. They saw Shadow Dance wasn't on. He pinged out. Just thought that it was perhaps a bounty hunter, but because of that, they also missed the D ward.
Yeah, it's hard for them to read where these wards are when the Slark is constantly having his passive taken away by bounty hunter.
Yeah, now he's like, okay, I have Shadow Dance on me, but I don't actually know whether or not it's bounty hunter. And Oracle isn't made of gold. He doesn't have track on his side.
He pops the Lincolns of Madara, hoping to be able to push him back a little bit. Madara does go into the mid lane where they're going to be able to freely take this tier 1 tower.
Dude, this Morphling is just so big.
He is. Which is why Newbie right now are trying to contest some of the side lanes, but they don't get anything at top, and it looks like bottom's going to be a failure as well. This fresh Blink Dagger picked up by KP does not find the connection on the Skylark.
And you definitely don't want it to be this late relative to the Lincoln's Morphling. Lincoln's had his Lincoln's way before the Blink Dagger came out, and that's really their only long duration disable. I guess Dragonite, but he doesn't have a way to get on top of the Morphling. He has no Blink, he has no Shadow Blade.
Maybe next time, scouting out some of these heroes, a deep entrance here. They're going to try and pop out underneath this tier 2 tower. The Dream Coil will catch the Ogre. They're going to be able to get onto him, it seems like. Madara will get his nuke out. That'll slow down things a little bit. He also has the Replicate, but Ogre is just too dumb and too tanky to notice all these spells. Another round. There it is. Thug will finally find that kill, but at the same time, it is buying a lot of space for Newbie to set up. You can see already KP is in position to go for an Epicenter Blink. Uh-oh. Radiant. They just popped that one out with a scan. They know what's here. And they might just try and surprise KP. The smoke breaks. Thug thinking about it here. Skylar's going to come forward. There's the lasso. They caught KP. He thought he was going to be able to defend that tier 2 tower with this setup. Now they're actually going to be able to go for more. Maybe next time in the background goes for Kaka, but he gets blown up. But maybe that's just enough. Now the rest of Adfinum are here. They're on top of SC, and SC needs to save. Kaka gets blown up in the backlines, and I think SC, he doesn't have a whole lot of heals coming his way. That ultimate's going to wear off. He will manage to survive thanks in part to the armlet. U9 managed to get the kill in the background of the Rubik, but Faith, he will be gobbled up. Madara's Morphling is just way too big at this time. Dominating streak. They traded 2 for 3. They got themselves some track kills.
This is some of the best uses of scan that I've seen. Most of the time it's to confirm that a smoke is coming or what direction it's going to come from. But the way they're using it is so that they can get the jump in a team fight, picking off a key hero like the Sand King, who is typically in the fog. And he was in a very well disguised position, deep in the trees. But it's unfortunately for him just a very common spot, especially when you're trying to defend the T2. And nice deny coming out from Newbie.
Yeah, very well played by our Slark, who has Shadow Blade as well as the Echo Saber. Dragonite is trying to work his way towards the BKB and is very close too. So all this magic damage is going to be coming out. That's a Dagon 3 now up for Thug sitting in his inventory.
Yeah, it's a tough game for SCCC because he needs to be along with the Sand King sometimes so they can actually stop this Morphling from split pushing. But because he has to go for the BKB, they're not going to have enough ganking threat. But it is going to shore up their team fight a lot. They don't want to concede any unnecessary kills to the Bounty Hunter. And it's a much different story from last game where Adfinum actually had the team fight to rival Newbies.
I mean, you say it's a tough game for those two cores, but Kaka's got to be a nervous wreck. that guy is not only just a target, but his plays can easily change the game with how much magic damage and burst damage there. He has to be on the trigger finger when it comes to that false promise, and the right Fate's Edicts could potentially save the team fights all by itself. But at Venom, they seem to have the advantage in all these team fights that are going down, both with aggressive wards and, as you said, very nicely placed scams.
That might change soon, though. Now, clicking on the Slark, he has Gem. And at Venom are well aware of this, I would assume. And now maybe next time has to be way more careful. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He doesn't have any way to escape a Slark hunting him down, nor does he have any vision of his own. Like, he can just be eyed out by the Slark without actually knowing at all. So this is where at Venom need to group up a little bit more as they're pushing the T3 tower. Newbies, they're nowhere to be found. They have to start TPing in, but a good fourth of the tower will be taken down.
Yeah, clearly Skylark thought there was going to be at least one newbie hero. He tried to put himself inside the base nice and early, see if they could get a quick pick and turn that into so much more. Newbie are a little bit more hesitant, a bit more disciplined in their rotations back.
That's
no one's going to be
hard
found.
ward to find. The one that you and I just walked
Oh,
through.
yeah.
Like you would expect the ward to be like on either side, but even if you get spotted there with no shadow dance, you're like, okay, where is this ward? But
yeah, it's a nice ward that manages to see multiple rotations, multiple avenues into the jungle. You may even see some of these heroes as they push out through mid.
And now U9 on warding duty. Let's see how many he gets. He gets 1 sentry. He'll almost certainly get this observer ward to the south side if he walks over there. But I think there will be at least one lone stander.
Initiation is everything for Ad Venom, and they just got a big boost in that initiation with 4 staff.
I don't think it was under the observer ward, however. It doesn't catch the left side where the ancient or where the creeps are.
Madara, his replicate is just now coming up. Maybe next time is going to be the one trailing behind. He might be the one to pop the smoke. U9 comes in from the side, does see a couple of these heroes. They're going to go straight for the pocket of the backlines, and that's a perfect hero. They stop the initiator. They've already taken him out, and now Madara has to do this all solo pretty much. He's the big damage dealer. He's trying to go for the Slark, but it's just not going to be enough. They already, here comes the epicenter. KP on the side, blinks in, managed to get his jump, but they actually missed the Skylark entirely. They get a little bit more magic damage onto SC, but he's armlet toggling beautifully. Madara's going to try and chase him down. He has an Ethereal Blade up. He just needs vision. He backs away, though, turns for the Slark instead, gets him. Here comes a bounce in. Nice double stun from KP, and they try and fight this out. SC goes against the Morphling, but the nukes come in. They finish him off. Now the Ogre's going to be left over as well. He's dead on top of everything else. Newbie go from finding the advantage in the team fight to losing it immediately against Madara's Morphling.
The only good thing about that fight is that they didn't lose a gem, but Madara he's just too farm at this moment. Even with the BKBs, they still couldn't really do that much damage. And Puck managed to escape at the beginning of the fight. He was sub 100 HP, but was able to escape with the help of phase shift. But that was such a close fight. I like the target select from Newbie a lot, going for that Puck first. He thought he was safe on the far right side. And this is closer to the tail end of the fight. SCCC armlet toggles his way to safety, and they catch him out. Very nicely placed sentry ward in the trees where Slark thought he was safe. And KP, you can see him retrieving the gem, eyes on the prize, and Madara with another wave and volley of spells will take down SCCC. So when you lose your first fight like that with a BKB and your Slark looks very mortal and just dying while in Viz.
And Madara looks immortal. I mean, that guy, he just shrugged off any attention that was put his way, and he's going to shrug it off a whole lot more with the BKB coming up.
He is just insanely farmed. I don't think I've ever seen a Morphling like get this stacked this early.
Yeah, he's 16,000 net worth. Second net worth in the game right now is our Slark at 10K. Even Thug is at 10K right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of the dream if you're playing against supports that are super poor because they've constantly had to blow so many spells because of the bounty hunter, or blow many sentries and dust, and maybe next time looking to tank the smoke. The scan does hit red.
Skylark is also setting up for a potential initiation here from Newbie.
And they see him, he pops the smoke.
Yeah, it's already popped. KP's just going to try and blink forward, goes in, but gets it annihilated. My God, the magic damage too much for him to even get off a Burrow Strike. Roshan will easily fall, and now it's going to be Newbie on full retreat now. Dreamcoil goes down, they need a stun. Shuriken will have it. Vape will also die. Another track kill for Ad Venom. They win Roshan, they get the Aegis, and now they're in a perfect position to put some pressure on Newbie. They've got 2 picks for 30 seconds.
Madara has the exact same score that SCCC had last game, 9-0-5, just absolutely taking over this game. And I mean, I thought the supports were under farm, but Sand King is too. He just died instantly.
Yeah. Oh, they need some extra help in initiation. That's where SC's thinking about that Blink Dagger and how he's going to be able to use it for the next fight to stop this push, because Madara already has that tier 3 at half.
And with the Blink Dagger on Thug, it's a level 4 Dagon. You do not feel safe as the Oracle.
Skylark comes forward, but there goes the Blink Dagger of the Dragonite. They stop the initiation of Skylark, and that's huge. In back lines, Kaka almost dies, but the nuke isn't quite enough, and now Madara's in trouble. He pops his BKB, starts running himself away with more strength. He'll be okay, but maybe next time's now stunned up. Nice jump in with the silence. Kaka will help save with KP's Epicenter. They almost finish off 2 different heroes. FaZe will at least get one of them on the side. Thug awaits as Madara backs himself up. He still has that Aegis, but Newbie, they're still going to try and pick some of the other heroes. Spartan's going to be the initiation. They get a Burrow Strike onto him. They see Morphling is low on mana, and he doesn't have a replicate up. Barely has enough to be able to make a way for him out, but now he's drained out of mana. He'll be going down here for his first life. Can they get him a second time, though? Thug is sitting down here waiting for some sort of interception if necessary, but there he goes. Jumps over to his replicate. He's good. Thug, he'll also be fine. The stuns just cannot be fast enough. And the Lincolns and Burrow Strike.
Newbie with a miraculous defense over there.
Says back up. Back the hell up, U9.
They have 2 gems now. One on Faith, one on U9. They picked up the Batrider as he was going to the right side. He's actually a little bit under farm. No BKB in sight for him despite having all this track money going his way. But Newbie, they lose a range direct, but got so many key heroes. And that was really tough to fight against the Morphling.
Yeah, it's certainly worth it. And it all comes down to the counter initiation from Newbie and the way they use that Blink Dagger of the Dragonite to stop the Batrider.
Yeah, and
so
same
you can
with
see right here, Skylar comes forward, SC stops him in his tracks.
Also, I like the Oracle's positioning a lot. He's like so far back that they really want to get him, but he's very close to the T4 towers and just behind his entire team. And like the raindrops made the difference there in him surviving.
Yeah, I think maybe even he didn't get hit by the waveform. He might have been far enough back that was just the regular nukes of the Morphling, and if he had been hit by that waveform, maybe he would have gone down instantly.
And look at him, like he's kind of baiting and drawing the Morphling in again.
Skylark,
I'm not happy about that.
That reaction, just how poorly that initiation went for him.
See, it's just not a good feeling when you pick up the gen and lose it immediately. It's very demoralizing because that's another, 9 minutes before?
Especially since their initiation is so important. That's why Skylar tries to go for Kaka. Can't quite get him. And now he's going to be caught by U9. He managed to get a couple of nukes down, but there goes the Shadow Dance as well as Kaka's nukes. Madara goes ahead and cleans up that support in the back lines, but his 2 cores are safe. At least for now, Thug actually blinks his way in, immediately hit by the Dragon Tail of SC. And here comes KP. Epicenter over the top. Madara still fighting strong, though. Managed to get the Dragonite. Already a buyback coming out from the Slark. They need to be able to keep this melee Rax alive, and Slark is the man to do it. It seems like Madara is still feeling himself, though. He goes for KP, jumps forward. It's going to be caught, though. Managed to jump back to his replicate just in time. Spartan tries to go for the TP out. He will not make it. The nuke's too much for him to handle. But the important thing being that a buyback comes out from our Slark, and Madara stays alive.
Another botch initiation by Skylark. I mean, Morphling went in thinking that he had a target last one, and it would have been an easy kill on the Oracle, but perhaps a misclick or something like that was just not the right exact play from him. So this is closer to the tail end of the fight where Madara has to man up versus all of these BKB heroes, but he still has a ton of agility, a ton of armor. Puck gets immediately stunned. That was a nice play from SCCC right there.
Yeah.
Of course, another great epicenter from Sand King, and I don't know how Madara just keeps making out of these ganks alive. He is a magician.
I mean, that guy just got so big on the Morphling so early. But at the same time, right, this has got to be concerning for Adfin. You could see the emotion on their faces right now. They should have peaked with that BKB picked up by the Morphling. They should have had a big peak and should have been able to win out in these team fights against Newbie. But that's now 2 fights that have gone awry, primarily because of the initiation failure.
They can't rely on the Bounty Hunter provision anymore because of the gem pickup by Newbie. It's been so crucial for Newbie to get a foothold in these fights by just limiting the vision of the Batrider. But I still think they'd be pretty happy with the way the last fight went. At least they get the Slark buyback. If they didn't get that, then it would have just been an utter disaster.
Yeah, now they feel like a potential win condition for the next 4 minutes or so, and they just picked up an Ayaskati on Madara, so he is really not slowing down. It's a big carry for Adfinum.
Yeah, this is 31 minutes in, mind you. And it will be a rather short Roshan respawn. Looks like 1 minute and give or take a few seconds after the next 3. So that definitely favors Adfinum because they want to make this next push as soon as possible before more items come out. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world if it goes later, just because maybe we'll have less time on their BKBs and Dagon 5, and then maybe add a Veil on top of that, and then of course like instant shotgun from Morphling. You want your BKBs to be 8, 9, 10 second territory, not 5, 6, 7.
Adfinum, the enemy is at the gates. Newbie need to find a way to be able to stop this initiation for a 3rd time. But this time around, they're not relying on Skylark. Madara's just putting himself on the front lines. He is going to be combo stunned here, but there is going to be some interceptions. BKB already used up. Morphling immediately goes for the back line, just right-clicks Kaka down as he tries to protect himself against the nukes, but the right-click damage will easily do. Now KB comes in with the epicenter, manages to get a 2-man bro strike, but it just doesn't finish off these heroes. Madara comes back in, cleans up the slop, and with the help of Thug, they will eliminate Newbie. This game 2 may just be over here. No buybacks coming out. And the series evened up. Adfinum going crazy in the booth.
They are so happy. They played really well. I think Madara and Thug played particularly well. Of course, maybe next time he set up the foundation with 3 courier kills at the start of the game.
I mean, that was his bounty hunter. Definitely got shut down early in game 1. Game 2, they tried a similar game plan, but maybe next time he has other ideas. Just courier pickoff after courier pickoff got them so much of a lead. It gave them Adfinum so much ground to work with in the laning phase, particularly Thug.
Yeah, that takes huge gumption because they lost so hard with Bounty Hunter in Game 1. Usually she was like, oh man, that clearly didn't work out. But as maybe Winter had mentioned, they thought that this was a very good pick versus the way Newbie plays. Just kind of harass their back line, and he was just a constant nuisance.
Newbie has notoriously been a team who are willing to group up early, particularly defend objectives, and you could see the willingness to group up in both Game 1 and Game 2. It clearly, at Bounty Hunter, scouting out those rotations definitely did work in both of those games, and maybe we'll see Newbie actually have to ban it out in Game 3. I don't know. Panel, what do you think? Is this Bounty Hunter actually that worth? Should Newbie start thinking about banning it?
I mean, that's what's so crazy, Cap, is we sat there in the first one, we're like, Bounty doesn't make sense. We could not justify it, we couldn't see it working. But MNT probably just said maybe next time and just destroyed us in the second.
That wasn't as good.
That wasn't a joke. I wasn't trying to make a joke.
You were trying to make a joke.
I was
Winter.
Don't call me out. Don't do it.
Good job, Winter. Way to keep them honest.
All right, you two, stop sinking your shirts, and we'll be back with you for the 3rd. Double Blue. We'll be back with you. Let's start talking to my panel. It is, of course, Fogs.
That was good. That was actually good.
Oh, thank you.
You give him that one?
I get approval.
I
don't think
all
so.
of them. I liked all of them.
I really don't. I think, if you just keep swinging, eventually you'll hit something. That seems to be my motto. It's my motto in life. And the same perhaps for this bounty, right? I mean, this is... We're just doing a tally on our hands. Literally, as Cap was throwing it to us, we're like, so how many courier kills did he get? It was Sheev, you had the number before 12 minutes?
3 before 12 minutes.
And can you just quickly highlight how much of an impact that has on the game?
Massive. So it got it on the way back to base. At some point there was a 200 value in it as well. I don't know exactly what was in it, but overall, just not like before 12 minutes. That's when you need it most. That's where you need to get your key items online. That's where you need to start, getting those lanes under control with a couple of key items you can get with the gold that you get early on. And not only that, but for some reason, we talked about it earlier, how Dragonite would be able to abuse the fact that Puck often leaves lanes and so they can take towers. The first tower that Newbie took was 15 minutes into this game, which is really late for a Dragonite lineup.
I think it's so massive him getting these couriers though. It's like we saw Thug's Blink Dagger come out at what, like 9 minutes or so on the Puck. All of these little things enabled them just to be so much more farmed. Like some of these situations when Madara, like here, maybe Madara wouldn't have had his Lincolns on time because of not getting these courier kills. So just small things definitely adding up for Adfinum. And I mean, this Bounty Hunter pick definitely paid dividends.
And through the draft, folks, you were saying that they were, or rather, yourself and Winter were saying that the 4 initial drafted were building up to something big. In fact, Winter, I remember this coming out of your mouth. You were saying like they're hiding something. This is going to be the big 5. It's going to be, trying to get a carry online. Morphling, Madara. What was your opinion on this one? 0 deaths, 15 kills. Morphling seemed to work well.
Yeah, I was really surprised that the Morphling got away in the laning phase against the Sand King and Ogre. They did really well in the laning phase, and no thanks to the Bounty as well, because the Bounty basically caused so much issue in the other lanes, they forced the Ogre to TP to help the other lanes, and it allowed the Morphling to farm.
they all just, on Infinite, like all of them kind of stepped it up a notch this game too. Like Skylark was kind of left a bit like alone a little bit in the Batrider, and as soon as I looked up there, I'm like, oh, this Batrider's alone versus an Oracle Slark, probably one of the best lanes versus a Batrider because of just the nature of the heroes with the pounce, with the removal of the sticky charges from both of them. He was level 3 super early, and then MNT maybe next time makes the movement up there, and they're able to put so much pressure on the lanes, like Winter said, forcing reaction, giving their Morphling all the space in the world.
Yeah, I think also Madara just sometimes not really shown discipline, but this game, great discipline from him, as he knew exactly when to join the fights and when to not join the fights, able to split push when he needed to, able to join when his team needed him to fight, and that is something that I feel like that is something that he really stepped up to the plate for.
Yeah, their strategy this game was much better than the last game. This game was a classic in Dota we call 4 Protect 1, like 4 heroes creating space. I don't think we've seen many 4 Protect 1 games in the event so far, and this is one of the games where it was really, really successful. They made so much space for, it's like the dream for the carry, so much space for the carry to farm.
Yeah, 19 minutes, I think, or 19:45, he finished up Linken's and Ethereal Blade. When you have that on a Morphling, you're just like, oh my god, like your supports are in huge detriment of being able to get one-shotted from it, so it's such an acceleration of farm from that factor for them.
And outside of that, I mean, just to kind of recap, I do like coming back to points made prior, was the puck. Fog, you were a little on edge about puck, realizing that what Newbie were bringing into the fray could actually cause some problems for it.
Look at that.
Whoa,
that emotion.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's some hype.
Oh, I think he crumbled his headset. It's gone.
That's why the game. That's the pause. That's why the game was paused.
No, it wasn't him. It was Madara that paused the game.
Yeah, but he also.
They all the same way. It looks like they all just slammed the keyboard.
It looks like
that's
they
pure
won
happiness.
GI right there.
It did look seriously, and that is just Adfinum doing what they have not failed to do a single time, which is get to the third game.
That game was so much character. They lost the first game in Bounty, and they still picked Bounty, and they win the next game.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big statement, right? That's like saying, you know, we have a plan and we're going to stick to it. That's
we know it works.
Yeah.
We got to try it. We got to believe in ourselves.
Got distracted. I didn't want to get back to your puck point because you did bring it up.
Sorry, yes.
We did see what they wanted to do with it, but I mean, at Finum, this is just a hero that they love to play. They sometimes actually have like more of like an enabler for the other carry that they have when they pick the puck. Like they have something else that Skylar can semi-transition on in a way. But in this game, like Winter mentioned, the 4 Protect 1, and it just worked out so perfectly because of the early rotations.
Yeah, because Morphing needs a lot of space, so you need someone mid that doesn't need too much, some items, then you make a move, and you create a lot of room for the Morphling to farm.
Yeah.
Well, we can bring it up just to see how that 4 Protect 1 did work out. You can bring up the scores, and we can see that big fat number next to Madara's name. Indeed, he was given that luxury of being babysat by 4 members of his Greek squad, and look at them go. 15-0 for him.
I mean, it's just great scores. I wonder if maybe Newbie doesn't normally play that much Slark, and I wonder if this was more a block pick rather than them wanting to have Slark, really?
It's a good hero against Batrider. They were picking around having a core that deals with the Bounty and the Batrider, because you have the Dark Pack to remove the track, and it's very difficult for Skylark to get his ultimate onto the Slark. That's why you saw Skylark, he was really nervous in a few occasions. He botched his initiation, but to be frank, he was in a really tough game. Oracle and Slark are both heroes that are very, very bad for Batrider to deal with, and at the same time,
I mean, that gets an applause with the MVP here.
Definitely.
Yeah,
maybe next time. Doing something that I don't think anyone else has. No one else has. I mean, just to highlight it, I just want to kind of reiterate this. Okay, so he has not only picked something that didn't work the first time. It's on elimination game. If you mess this game up, you're going home. You're not going to double your money. You're not going to continue at the major. He takes it again and then proceeds to do damage on it, despite the enemy team knowing exactly what's coming. I mean, there's just so much credit to be given to MNT.
That sounds
pure confidence.
That sounds like you know. You make some jokes, you're not happy, and then you keep making.
I make a lot of bad jokes.
He still makes us happy, even if they're bad jokes. We laugh, we smile.
That's what the dad jokes are all about.
Yeah.
That's right.
Alex believes in his jokes, just like MNT. Believe in his bounty.
I like what you're doing here, Winter. You're a storyteller. You really are.
He's a suck-up. That's what he is.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's go ahead and stop talking about suck-ups and instead start talking about Purge, because he is ready, and he's going to be telling us a little bit about what's something special that happened in this game.
Yeah. And what I wanted to focus on was really the difference between Game 1 and Game 2. In Game 1, it was basically a bounty hunter getting as much experience as he could, but Game 2, really about moving around the map and making his opponents move. This is a minute and 40 seconds into the game. You got 2 super tanky heroes, both have disables, high mobility. These guys are just constantly sitting in the lane and making sure that Adfinum doesn't get nearly as much as they wanted to. It may seem bizarre to have bounty focus here for so long early, but sometimes you want to try to get those guys out of their lane. The easiest way to do so is to actually gank a different lane, because then they feel like they're getting pressured, their carries might die, their supports might die, or maybe even Batrider will get a better time than he's expecting. So just because they ultimately force this lane harass here against a hero like Oracle, it ultimately, towards the end of this clip, actually gets a TP from an Ogre Magi. He's out of the lane, and because of that, now Sand King trying to pressure bot, steal some stacks. It's a completely different story. 2 spells here from Rubik, 1 waveform from the Morphling, and he's out of the lane. And this is one of the things that really made sure that Morphling got a ton of gold in the early game, and just because there were so many rotations, it led for a gold advantage. If you check on the top left on net worth, Madara is already 40% ahead of the carry on the enemy team. So despite a great team fight start here by Newbie, killing or almost killing the puck at the start of the fight, they still just had a commanding lead, and some sick plays absolutely help as well. If we jump a little bit forward here, Madara in this moment where he's trying to kill Slark started morphing about 8 seconds earlier than that, morphed 50 strength all the way to agility, and that was the only reason he killed the Slark with that one shot. Just amazing plays from the start to the end by Adfinum.
An amazing analysis as well, Purge. We really do love that. We have to give him some credit as well, because he is literally shackled to that desk every game,
he cannot leave.
Every play.
Literally.
He's just literally sitting there, helping break down the plays for you guys at home and for us here at the desk. It's not like it's just the audience that's benefiting.
No, I remember saying yesterday, like, I thought, like, Slacks is the hardest working person here. No offense, by the way.
Sure.
But then I remembered I actually saw Slacks sometimes in the talent lounge. Never see Purge. He's always looking for new content to put out on his board. It's amazing.
Yeah, credit where credit is due, for sure. But back to the game in hand, because we have got a third game. Adfinum is just, refusing to go down without a fight. They have lost games before here in the Boston Major, but not without taking it to a third, and they're doing the same here on their elimination game on the stage here in the Wang Theatre. A prestigious location for a very big game of Dota, and I think the question is now how do things change? Adfinum, they tried something, it failed. They tried it again with a slight deviation, it works. Surely it's not going to be the same
biggest
formula
question
again.
Is Bounty Hunter
3 games in a row?
In the second phase?
Might be banned. It actually might be banned, or you might see them giving away the bounty and picking something like a SB. Like SB is very good against the bounty. You charge him every...
never. People are used to it by now.
They know what's coming.
Drinks.
Hey.
I think I'm going to be sat here with all the games tonight. I'm sorry, dude.
Hey, he came prepared. I'll give him that.
He came prepared.
Hey, dude's got game. For sure.
Yeah.
At least he asks.
Yeah.
Not afraid. He's not afraid of you.
I mean, there's a pub crawl tonight for a lot of the people here. So that's a lot of people have been asking,
hey, dude,
are you going to come by? Are you going to stop by? I remember that at some point, I think it was a TI that Talent actually had time to do that because the games were done earlier. But I think tonight, I mean, we're in for the long haul here.
We are indeed. But I mean, word to the wise, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So credit where credit is due. He took it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And they're going to be taking it into this draft because it is coming up, guys. Back on topic. We are so good at getting sidetracked. We're having too much fun here. And
I blame you for that.
Oracle in 2016. Hey,
was Oracle really the problem, though?
I think that was actually something I want to touch on too. Is like it wasn't like a clear outdraft at all. Like I didn't think, at least in this game, maybe like slightly favored toward Adfinum, but the way that they played the game was just incredible. The way that they just made the moves, made the space for the Morphling. So I think that Newbie has to look at that game and just try to make up what the next approach is.
One thing I would like to add is they didn't have like good lockdown for Morphling.
Yes.
Their heroes are not very good at killing Morphling. I mean, they have a couple of stuns. They have the Dragon Knight stun, Ogre stun, the Sand King stun, but Lincolns are really good against all those stuns. You can block them. And you don't have like a dead counter like a Disruptor. A Disruptor would be a very good solution towards the Morphling. So the Morphling was just a great last pick there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned earlier that you might have Spirit Breaker instead of the Bounty Hunter, Winter?
No, I mean Spirit Breaker could be used to deal with the bounty.
Oh, and the other way around. I was going to say,
because you can track him down.
Yeah. In that case as well, if the Bounty Hunter does get banned.
The other way of playing around like against bounty. Okay, they don't have to play against bounty.
First phase ban even.
Hey. That's straight up respect.
Yeah, that is definitely.
Shout out D-Man.
Does mean that Shadow Demon makes it through and Adfinum has first pick. So
I think this is the approach that most teams, at least what we saw in the Boston major qualifiers for Europe, they were banning the Wisp Bounty Hunter versus Adfinum. So this is like going back a little bit to there, just recognizing the strength of Adfinum with those two.
But isn't it interesting that what was initially banned, which was Shadow Demon by Newbie, has now been given to Adfinum? It's almost like they planned it all along. Have a good bounty game, and then you get given SD.
But they do have like a solid opening right now in response to the Shadow Demon. Luna, as expected, you don't want to give away those two heroes on the same team, and they have the Bat Rider on their side, so their laning phase is going to be very, very good and very solid. It's going to be up to Adfinum whether if they're going to run the same thing. If they want to run like the Roamer, I'm not sure if it's going to be very successful this game. Like you could technically say Ricky can be a replacement to Bounty if you want to play that way, but it's not as good.
Not for MNT though.
Yeah.
They really like playing with that whole track mentality.
The track, yeah, because of the kills. You can trade kills very well.
It's the Nyx Assassin instead.
The back counter.
Back counter, yeah.
Yeah, it is Skylark's hero too, I believe. Right?
We might see like a Silencer just to deal with that. I know Newbie, they like to pick Silencer as one of their primary supports. Yeah. As Bat Rider, that's one of your go-to partners if you are up against a Nyx, if you're up against like Oracle, the bench, all these spells to deal with the lasso. Very good way of complementing the Bat Rider. So we might see that from Newbie this game. It's good against the Shadow Demon Disrupt as well.
More respect coming out with banning out Madara Morphling indeed, and a possible Thug Sniper.
Yeah, it's a
strong Shadow Demon combo
as well. It's a pretty good combo with Shadow Demon.
And OD is still in the pool. That might be something that Newbie is looking to. As Sniper is considered a little bit of a counter.
Still Alchemist too. Alchemist is also good with Shadow Demon. I'm not sure if Adfinum favors that kind of play style here.
Thug likes to play it. He does like to play it, but it definitely changes your way you play.
You can't really do 4 Protect 1 if you actually do Alchemist.
Yeah.
It's a bit different. Because with the Nyx, they could still go down the 4 Protect 1 route, have 2 cores that make space, and go for a really big hero for Madara once again, if they want to stick to that playstyle, what works for them.
So we focus a lot on Adfinum and what they need to do, but Newbie just lost the game. Sure, they pay respect by banning out the Morphling and the Bounty Hunter. What do they need to do? What went wrong that they can easily fix this game in just draft-wise?
Draft-wise, I think their heroes last game, they got like pretty much a very difficult last pick from Adfinum, and they didn't really have super good lanes, I think, in my opinion. They had a Sanking Ogre lane, but that's about it. The other 2 lanes weren't really very good. Like the Slug plus Oracle lane is really good against the Bat Rider, but they aren't able to totally shut out the Bat Rider from getting farm. Like he was able to get farm in levels, and allowed the Bounty to he roam over, and they were able to get kills and put pressure.
Adfinum focusing a little bit more on the supports since they already revealed a bit of a card from Newbies. They haven't drafted either of theirs, so they ban out the Rubik, the Ogre. Just massive compliments to the Luna and the Bat Rider. Even Bloodlust is quite good on both of them.
Yep, it's a pretty scary lane though. Ogre plus the Bat Rider. If you don't have the correct lane to deal with that kind of pressure, you're going to struggle. That lane is very hard to deal with.
So what heroes remain for Faith and Kaka that they might pick?
I still think the Silencer is great for them. Silencer would deal with the Shadow Demon and the Nyx and complements the Bat Rider. It's a very good range support for the Luna.
Bye-bye Magi.
Oh, it's the Warlock coming back.
Old, like not old school, but like a thing that we saw coming up when the Shadow Demon was so popular. Warlock always very good versus it.
That was I think what PPD mentioned. He said that Warlock counters Shadow Demon because you are able to use the Fatal Bonds on the illusions, and that's the first thing. And the second thing is in team fights, you kind of have the rock to stop the Shadow Demon because he's going to be hiding around the back line. He's going to try to disrupt the target that you're focusing, and having the huge AoE stun is going to be able to stop him from doing that.
Multiple forms of initiation and Fatal Bonds with Luna for later on stages.
Oh, there we go, the Alchemist.
The Alchemist,
we go for the
This is not 4 Protect 1 anymore, but it's a good hero. Like overall to deal with what Newbie has. You use the acid to slow down their heroes, because especially when you have the Warlock Luna draft, you want to have the opportunity to always constantly use your ultimates to push towers to fight the enemy. And with the Alchemist, it's like a hero that drags and slows down the game, and it makes you keep that ultimate in your pocket, and you can't do it because the lane's always pushed up.
Does that mean that newbies should try to speed up their prime time of their draft? Or are they okay going late game against an Alchemist? I mean, with their
you generally don't want to go late game against Alchemist unless you can play Meepo. Like Meepo is a pretty good hero against Alchemist, but apart from that, there are not many heroes that are, or anti-mage, like there are not many heroes that can actually deal with Alchemist late game because he farms way too quickly. He comes online way faster than your core.
So is there a hero for SCCC that they could still pick to go early? To go aggressive early, fight early?
I kind of like a good laner against Alchemist like Timber, Ursa. Like those heroes are very good at dealing with Alchemist in the lane itself. You can kill him. So I would probably lean towards more those two heroes. Timber has a lot of armor.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Jackie Ma would probably want to get a Terrorblade mid against Alchemist. Yeah, he likes that.
Is that a rather exclusive case?
Yeah, rather exclusive. Not, I don't think anyone else does it apart from him, because Terrorblade has high base armor, so you're able to tank through the acid harass, and you're able to deny the creeps with Metamorphosis.
Just 2 for either side left. Newbie next to choose. So
they're taking their time.
Yeah, this is very tense.
There's your
the Timber, yeah. The Timber is very good versus the illusion clearing as well as the laning versus the Alchemist.
Just mostly the lane. They need a hero to kill him, in being able to have that potential to pressure and kill him.
Or just to keep the Alchemist honest before he just kind of...
Yeah, it's like that's actually a very hard lane for the Alchemist, like because Timbersaw can. There's very few heroes that can just stand there and deal with the acid spray. Timbersaw is one of those, and he puts a lot of pressure on the Alchemist with the Whirling Death spam, and it also complements into their draft too. They have a massive amount of just burst potential with the Luna and Timbersaw.
Basically, right now, what Newbie needs is a roaming hero, because you have a mid matchup that keeps the Alchemist always at low health, half health. So all it takes is just one spell from someone like an Earth Spirit. Like Earth Spirit Warlock is pretty good, and a rolling boulder in, you can easily kill the Alchemist. That's what Newbie wants, and I think on the other side, you want heroes that can defend the Alchemist.
So do you think for Newbie they could still maybe do something like an Undying, since they've been playing with? It's good with the Batrider, and they can. It's not really like the cleanest movements, but it's good versus both.
Okay, but I think I would want to have like a roam,
something more, something harder.
For Adfinan, I know they like Earthshaker though. Like Earthshaker is pretty good at defending like the Alchemist. I've seen that. I think they played a few. Was it like the groups? I think I saw one game. They had an Earthshaker on the support role.
From which team?
From Adfinan.
They did, yeah. They did that versus OG.
There's Mirana.
This
keeping it open.
Probably their support. SD Mirana and the Nyx on the off lane. I'm not sure if they would want to do this on their carry role.
Could be a way to like defend their Alchemist in a way, because Timbersaw's going to be playing really far up. He's going to be susceptible to the roam potential, but still not the most damage to kill. Yeah,
not easy to kill. That's like the main thing I have. I'm not sure. Maybe they are trying to just dual roam the SD and Mirana, because they're going to need more than one hero to kill this Timbersaw. Like we saw Nana's Timbersaw yesterday. What, 4 heroes? Cole had to send 4 heroes to mid to kill him.
It gives them more like mixed damage though as well into like later stages. Even though it's a support, if it does get to that point, he does have like a high burst.
Yeah.
Versus the Luna and the Timbersaw.
On the United, the last man there.
Go for Weaver. Something that fights early.
Something that they can leave alone, so they can really do that dual roaming potential.
They can roam the supports because it's a Weaver. So that might be the plan. They are going to use the supports to, help out the mid lane more.
Yeah. Just leave the Weaver 1v1 versus the Batrider, maybe after a decent start.
Hey, you forgot to take off the tag, dude.
And now it's probably more so the fact that they'll go for like something with a disable on their secondary support.
The Alchemist. Look at that.
Look at this. This is Alchemist City.
Sanking support against the Earth Spirit. They seem to like the Sanking on the 4th row a lot, so they're going to roam with the Sanking.
And it's good versus the illusion spam that we were kind of talking about before.
Greedy though.
It is a bit greedy, but it gives you the lockdown. They don't really have that much without like a Golem or the Batrider Lasso on top of that. So.
Okay, this is it. It's crunch time.
Yep.
We are going to a 3rd series as expected when these two teams were going to clash. The draft is done, it's locked in, and that means they're about to load in to their 3rd game of the series. Not a single Chinese team has managed to make it to the quarterfinals yet. Will Newbie be the first, or will Adfinum go ahead and continue this Cinderella story? From the first in the EU regional qualifiers to perhaps getting to the quarterfinals. We'll find out as their biggest event does continue, or will Newbie stop it? Find out with your casters as once again Cap and Malini are standing by.
Everyone knew that Adfinum versus Newbie would be one hell of a match, and we are indeed going to get a Game 3, where this time around, Adfinum are going to place their hopes on one big carry. It's going to be Thug's Alchemist rather than Madara this time around. Can Adfinum actually persevere through a little bit of versatility there, banking on an Alchemist pick like that?
Especially with the Shadow Demon, I think Alchemist has just been so difficult to deal with.
Newbie,
when Newbie saw them draft, it's like, oh man,
he definitely got to be a little bit of a slump of just like, oh god, we have to deal with an Alchemist on the main stage in a 3rd game in an elimination match on top of everything else. Adfinum quite the upstarts, but Newbie still have a very good team fight lineup, and they have some good counters to the Alchemists as well. Most notably, SC's Timbersaw is going to be one to look out for in his play in the middle lane. He is already a bit countered by the Nyx Assassin that was already in Adfinum's hand. For Skylark, they have that against both a Batrider and a Timbersaw, but he's going to need a much better performance than some of the initiations we saw in Game 2, because they are going to have a much harder time creating space for Thug than Madara had on that Morphling, right? He got a free lane. He had like a free game for the first 15 minutes.
Yep, that's where the Shadow Demon Mirana comes in, and they're already looking to get a surprise first blood on the bottom lane. Madara, he's kind of feigning that he's down there alone, and generally, you want to contest first Alchemist, but they have no idea where the other 4 are. And with Mirana in the game, it's very easy to concede a first blood. So KP will scout it out and just immediately bounce. And yeah, you have to give Alk a bounty rune, but that's better than giving him first blood.
Yeah, it certainly is. He will quickly pick up the beginning of his Iron Talon and a little bit of helping hand with that healing sound. This is something different, though. Adfinum are going to go for a smoke straight off the bat as they pick up that bounty rune. Nyx Assassin, the Shadow Demon, and the Mirana are going to be heading up to top lane. They're going to try and give Skylark a nice, easy start to his lane, which is normally quite tough against both a Warlock and a Luna. They're lining things up right now, letting Spartan be the leading initiator, and they're wrapping around behind Faith. Faith is going to be the one caught. Disruption leading into an Impale, leading into an Arrow, and that'll be the easiest first blood of Adfinum's life here at the mid stage.
And an important one for them, as they need to set the pace for the game for the Alchemist. And one thing that was not touched upon is that Kaka is on the Batrider, and Kaka is the support player. So he is going to – he was napalming mid. I was like, what is he doing over there? But he's support. They switched it up in the last minute, throwing KP on the Sand King. And he gets arrowed yet again.
No need for a disruption here. Kaka, who leveled up Sticky Napalm to try and harass that Alchemist in the mid lane, is in serious trouble. Maybe next time, trying to body block him. They'll also have the disruption into the Impale once again. Adfinum's teamwork looking spot on here.
And he doesn't even knock off the clarity.
2-0. The Alchemist may be feeling the pressure of SC's Timbersaw and a little bit of help from that Batrider, but this aggro tri-lane situation is certainly working out for Adfinum. Skylark's going to have quite the early level 2. Skylark running into U9 here. They're going to try and back themselves away. Spartan, he's going to be able to get the disruption. Skylark just tries to get out, it looks like. And Kaka's actually stuck here. The disruption blocking him in, but doesn't really matter. More importantly, Ben, that was a courier pickoff. Maybe next time. You thought just because he wasn't on a bounty hunter, you thought he wasn't going to pick off couriers? No.
They don't have a good way to catch him. There's like no disruptor to bring him back. Like neither of their supports have disable, silences, nothing. So maybe next time can just run wherever he wants. He was just there arrowing the large troll camp, just making sure that there's no stack coming out from the Batrider. And support Batrider is tough, especially when they're all up in your jungle. Yep. I've seen jungle Batriders before, but support is another beast.
Oh, maybe next time. What are you doing? Lines up on that arrow, surprising the trees, but SC, the soldier, ever vigilant, manages to just barely sidestep that arrow.
Skylark was taking a lot of damage on the top lane, but it's okay. Pop a branch.
So was KP. Look at this guy. Without a courier, he's in that awkward situation where he wants to be able to stay in lane because it's a 1v1. He doesn't want to leave out any experience, but he is also has no backup when it comes to regen. He's finally going to decide to suicide neutrals, it looks like. But this does leave Madara a free lane, something that, mid, Bug dropping a bit low, but SC, without having level 6, really doesn't have solo kill potential against an Alchemist.
Timber is crushing him in CS. Almost double Alchemist right now, and that's with the early bounty rune going his way. And Timbersaw, just a very, very great matchup, and SCCC very skilled in that mid lane. Dire has used scan. They did sense it out, but the arrow is spot on.
SC going to be blocked up. He does have high levels of reactive armor right now. They're going to leap and try and get that extra bit of damage, just not enough.
Yeah, one downside about having the disruption is that you have the illusions. If you wanted them to attack, you're popping reactive armor stacks on the Timbersaw. And that's a gank that they really wanted to work out over here.
Skylark, thanks to the space of the two supports, is doing pretty well for himself. He is actually going to man up against Faith, manages to catch the creep wave in the process, and he's actually going to pull it into this hard camp knowingly. That does put him in a spot when it comes to those fatal bonds, and he'll actually miss one of those last hits. But in the end, this will be a lane that pushes forward, and Skylark will be able to get what seemingly a fast level 6. Rana's coming over. They actually lay down this. I really like this ward here for Newbie. It's spotting out maybe next time's movements around the map. This will give SC an idea that there's probably another arrow coming his way, or maybe just a neutral.
And Kaka's really deep in the Radiant jungle. Maybe part of his job is to stop the stacking. Kaka, is he going to spot out? Nope.
Spartan's going to be caught. Burrow strike into all this sticky napalm. Spartan really doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell, not with all this fire around. Newbie finally get themselves on the board here, 2-1.
Yeah, and Kaka does have an observer ward over here, so this can give them more control of the Radiant jungle because of how deeply Advenom's invading their own. They need more places to farm on Newbie. You want the Batrider takes up a decent amount of space if you actually want him to get items.
Right.
And right now he's just stacking, or sorry, he's not stacking, he's just scouting out the Alchemist and trying to steal his stacks possibly. So that's kind of a cool, unique ability that the Batrider can do, is steal opponent's stacks, which is definitely something that we're going to be seeing this game.
Thug was trying to pick up his level 6 off the jungle, but with Kaka in range, he sapped some of that experience, and Thug is really feeling the pressure of SC now, especially now that SC has his level 6. The Chakram is up. This does give him kill potential against Thug. But Thug will also have his level 6, it seems, with this creep wave. No opportunity to be found for Newbie just yet.
Yeah, maybe next time just trying to figure out where this Batrider is and getting some stacks up for Alk. And Alk also, in the meantime, getting top rune. Will it be Bounty? Nope, just a haste rune for him. He will stack up the Ancients in the meantime.
Bit unlucky, but we'll see whether or not that haste rune comes in play for him. Maybe it'll save his life against an incoming gank from Newbie. They are freely farming on U9, but so is Madara. He's got 35 and 10 compared to the Sand Kings 18 and 0. KP has given himself a solo lane where he's got free experience, but he's not able to keep up when it comes to levels.
Arrow,
Spartan,
will it
connect? No. Just a bit too late.
Yeah, he was a little bit too far behind. He'd probably have to leap, and even if he leapt, I don't think that he would have been able to get that kill.
Yeah.
It's very hard to kill this Batrider when he's in the trees.
Still, though, how is this Batrider going to be effective? He's level 3, 6.5 minutes in. It doesn't seem like they're going to really be able to rely on stacks. What do you think Newbie's idea is to be able to give him at least some semblance of fun?
Well, maybe they swapped into the support role because they realize that, okay, it's going to be kind of countered by the next assassin, and they want to fight much earlier because you need to shut down Alchemist very, very early on. So now he's playing... Kaka is known for playing like the Bounty Hunter Riki, so now he's just getting a lot of intel around the map, just dropping observer rewards, kind of playing deep onto Advenom's side, just like the two supports were in the early game. So they're not playing him for lasers, they're not playing him for napalm stacks. It's just be annoying, get some kills around the map, and just be ever so elusive with the Firefly up cliffs.
He's certainly forcing rotations here. Advenom double TP in. One of them, though, is Skylark. He's level 6. U9 is actually pushing out his lane, so they should have free info about the Nyx assassin moving around the map at this point in time.
I don't know if they have enough damage. He has a fair amount of armor, so the Vendetta and plus the Swarm, it's going to be pretty difficult.
Lead with Vendetta, or maybe an Impale does catch him during the Sandstorm, but will be enough. He has a Burrow Strike. That's why Skylark puts himself forward with the Spike Carapace. KP will go farther down the river, but he tries to go for a TP out. It's just not going to happen, though. Both an arrow, a disruption, and all the right-click damage you could ask for. Comes down from that Venom for third kill.
Yeah, that was a tough gank for KP in this game. Like, even if he had burrowed up the cliff and then tried to TP, he still had to Swarm on him. So there's very little chance of him being able to TP out with full vision into an arrow. And maybe next time, probably trying to get lucky with a courier kill as he heads up to the Dire Secret Shop, but there's no courier to be spotted.
Still, though, all those rotations do give Newbie a free chance to push down a Tier 1 tower. Luna safely farming in lane is not just at 52 and 9 when it comes to CS, but it's also able to pick up a tower last hit as well.
So they need Warlock 6 before they can actually start pushing towers together as 5. And Sand King is a long way away from Blink Dagger, as is the Batrider. But it looks like they're going to try and prioritize the Batrider, or at least he's going to be stacking for one of the two, as they try and look for ways to perhaps force engagements while Alchemist is off farming.
So do you think that Newbie actually go for these pushes with the Warlock ultimate, or do you think they have to wait for one of those Blink Daggers first?
I think they can go with the Warlock ultimate. Like, Weaver is kind of Mirana SD is very good at getting kills, but poor in an actual team fight. Nyx Assassin is the only one that they're worried about, but with Temper Cell being super farmed and Warlock and Fatal Bonds and Eclipse, I think that's enough to take a team fight, especially with no BKBs and no items really. If the Alchemist joins a fight though, then they could actually be in a little bit of trouble. Like if he's stalling with the acid spray, they don't have that great of sustain, nor do they have that much armor to really counter it, and no signs of an early mech from a Newbie. So I think it all depends on whether or not like the Alchemist is around there. They can't push the Alchemist lane.
Yeah, it is quite dangerous to try and continue to just separate and farm up those Blink Daggers, because this just gives Skylark more opportunity for potential picks on this Nyx Assassin. Now, he just spent a majority of his Vendetta in bottom lane, didn't actually get an opportunity for a kill there, but now he's going to rotate over and try and catch SC. SC trying to contest the room, but Thug will manage to pick up an Arcane, and Arrow nails in front behind, and they're going to be able to combo up these stuns quite nicely. SC not going to be able to make it out of here. Spartan's going to be able to get the extra kill, looks like. They don't have a stun up. Impale is down, but the Spike Carapace will hold Kaka there for a moment, but really, once he's into the cliff, it's very hard for these heroes to be able to catch Kaka.
And they just all
at his ultimately exposed area. Going to be caught here by the, they're going to be able to catch it, but the disruption goes down first. The lasso and its damage is going to be a bit ineffective. Mirana tries to put a stop to it, but ultimately they do manage to get that kill. Can they catch somebody in the process, though? A TP's coming in from the Nyx Assassin, trying to put himself in front of the Batrider with a spike carapace, and he will manage to at least catch one, but that is still slowing down the Radiance, and they only traded what is a support Batrider.
He managed to pick up the Radiance recipe before he died, so
he did.
Not the worst trade in the world, but Newbie's still coming out. Good 600 gold ahead.
Newbie know they have to keep up the pace when it comes to this tempo of ganks. They need to constantly put pressure on this Alchemist, otherwise they're going to be on the losing side of a split push war.
And it looks like Spartan will be able to get these two D-Wards. It's so important as the Radiant really needs to farm those Ancients up. It's just really important for the Alchemist. Even the Weaver can help a lot with the Swarm, but now that there's no creeps there, and Newbie probably taking a look at their economic game. They use a lot of smokes, hasn't yielded the most kills, and both their Blink Dagger wielders are not even halfway
nailed
there.
him. Maybe next time with a beautiful rotation to bottom lane. Read KP's rotations beautifully, but oh my god, he just burrow struck into the trees. They're going to be able to come in with the Eclipse, blows up maybe next time, and they actually survive on KP and get a counter kill.
That's a huge play from KP right there. And a little bit late on the Dust. I don't think the Shikuchi damage hit the Sand King as he was running away to the north side. And that would have halted most of the Blink progression. And now it looks like Newbie will follow that up with another tower.
Newbie, they've taken all the important objectives here. If they can actually translate this into not just a tier 2 tower kill, but also start putting pressure on mid, the Alchemist is going to be struggling to find space to farm.
He's walking into a trap. Madara walks into the center.
Oh, but he runs right back out. Lasso not going to be in there in time. He uses time lapse just in case. He goes right back through them again, taunting them to chase him down because he has the help of the rest of his team this time around. Adfin, going to come forward. They missed one stun. Unite thought he could TP out. Thinks better of it. His arrow slides on by. Now he has to turn and fight, but he knows he's dead. The Purge just keeps him from escaping. They managed to catch Kaka up there with the Spike Carapace, slowing down his retreat. Madara does have view of him. Another Spike Carapace is coming up. Skylark gets him once again. The Impale will put a stop to that TP. And 8-6 now is the score as Adfinum do manage to hold that tier 2 tower.
That was just not the real good fight that they were looking for. So KP, and they think the stun duration is long enough, but it wasn't a max duration. And the Dust comes out. He doesn't hit with the Shikuchi damage, and he blinks into an impossible area for them to scout, unless you leap right on top of him or they have a Swarm. That's another thing. The Dust came out late, so the Swarm wasn't able to stick on top of the Sand King.
8-6, 16.5 minutes in, a 4,000 gold lead for Adfinum, 2,000 experience. KP going to be caught by another arrow from maybe next time. This time around, he preemptively does. He does not want to let KP escape again. He tries to put him on this cliff, doesn't quite make it, but the TP, he won't get out in time. Disruption stops him, and KP will fall 9-6 now.
And his current gold right before that, 1850.
Oh man, he gets knocked down to 1,500, and he's out of the game for 40 seconds. This Blink Dagger is just not going to be coming up anytime soon, and neither will the Batriders. He's only sitting at 1,300. And this is really necessary. They need that hard initiation for Newbie to feel confident pushing the last remaining of these objectives, right? The tier 1 and tier 2 is really what helps the Alchemist maintain security around these farming areas, these two neutral camps as well as this ancient area.
And even despite those two heroes not really close to a Blink Dagger, Newbie, they do have the Midas on the Warlock. Face's been a little bit quiet, but only one death. That's a pretty good sign for him, and involved in a decent amount of kills. So even if they don't have the Blink Daggers up and early, and maybe 4 steps later, they probably will have the Ags Warlock later to help them out in their late game situation.
Yeah, it looks like U9 is planning on spending a lot of time farming against this Alchemist. He goes ahead and picks up the Helmet Dominator. They're going to try and keep control of their own ancient camp and utilize it against the Alchemist. They can't keep pace, obviously, but they can at least keep within striking distance of Madara's net worth. Sitting at 8K. Oh, the arrow going to come out. Maybe next time. How does he keep on landing these? Skylark holds on to the Spike Carapace until he was in the perfect spot, too, just in case. But really, maybe next time. Didn't need that extra backup. He's able to land these arrows all by himself, it seems.
And Alchemist bottles another bounty rune. And right now, it's just an economic war. can these guys get their Blink Daggers and kill some of Ad Venom's heroes so that the Alchemist is the only problem that they have to worry about right now? Is like the Nyx Assassin has had Blink Dagger for quite some time now. They still have to buy a lot of Sentry Wards, a lot of Reveal, so that they can see this Weaver and perhaps see the Nyx Assassin as he's Vendetta around the map. But I mean, Faith is kind of the only one farming that well of the three that you kind of are worried about in this game.
Maybe this is why U9 did pick up that Helmet Dominator. Maybe he thinks these Blink Daggers are just not going to come fast enough. They're not going to be able to maintain map control fast enough. And Alchemist will ultimately win out first when it comes to this economic game. He'll be able to have that Manta before Newbie can end it. They are going to be able to do a 4-man smoke wrap around here. The 2 supports in mid lane, they are going to be the victims, or at least one of them here. Spartan on the Shadow Demon buys himself a momentary reprieve, but the disruption ultimately will not pay. Tier 1 tower is going to fall because of that. Ad Venom will gladly give it up, though. It looks like they have enough space for the taking. Madara is pushing out the top lane, and Thug is trying to get that bottom lane pushed out while Newbie pushed to Tier 2.
The Blink Dagger reveal does yield them a T1, but not sure if that's enough. And Alchemist, in the meantime, is still just off farming like a madman. And the push will be slowed down because of the swarm.
Yeah, and how do you actually stop Madara when he shows himself like this? If they go ahead and use this fresh Blink Dagger from KP to Burrow Strike, it just gets blocked out by the Lincoln. So, the Raze Grip dies just in time, and U9 is actually set up underneath this Tier 1 tower. SC pushes back at Venom, making sure they can't do much with that Moonlight Shadow.
Maybe next time walks under the Sentry Ward. They don't have vision of them yet, but they perhaps see that all of Ad Venom are on the south side.
And the Manta's up. And illusions start coming out. Both Disruption as well as Manta illusions. The Radiance Burn, it seems like, is going to be enough to keep their Tier 2 safe. Newbie are going to be pushed back. They need to find pickoffs from here on out before they go for these full-out pushes. Boundary Room going to be jumped, but it may cost KP his life. He gets stunned up, but he also Burrow Strikes out. Gets a little bit distant away from Madara. He's going to be chased down. He doesn't have Burrow Strike, no Sandstorm, nothing. He is going to be chased down underneath this Tier 1 tower. Time lapse, and Madara. Hit and run for him, getting the 11th kill for Ad Venom.
Now they're really desperate when it comes to the gold. Their HOD creep just got arrowed, and they're about to lose this T1 tower, which doesn't leave the Ancients really safe for U9 to take anymore. They need to create gold out of nowhere, which is kind of what the stacking from the HOD does, but if they can't take that out, and then they still need the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider, and then you also need the Timber and the Luna to absorb a lot of the creeps, I just see them falling further and further behind. They need more picks, as you mentioned, with 2 or 3 while the others are farming.
The Blink Dagger just picked up for Kaka is going to be enough for him to blink away. Yes, it is. Skylark, if he was there a second or two earlier, they could have even stopped that Blink Dagger from being purchased by Kaka. But as it is, Newbie have both their initiating items. Will it be enough, though?
They're out of smokes. This Observer Ward spots at least the Sand King out, and Ad Venom are way out of there. And now, Ad Venom, all they really want to do is let Newbie push into them. If they're pushing into them, they're together as 5. They waste their time because of the constant barrage of Alchemist illusions. And if they don't push as 5, they'll just get out farmed. So maybe Newbie should tend towards that Dire Ancient area. That Dire Ancient area is where they will make their money, as well as perhaps taking Roshan. I think their team fight is still way stronger. Batrider with a Blink Dagger is very strong. Alchemist Illusions, I don't think they actually pinged it out, but with that drawn by, maybe next time it looks like they are well aware that a smoke is coming. Just not which direction. Skylark will pop the smoke.
They do have dust. Batrider runs the wrong direction, blinks onto a spike carapace, not able to catch Skylark just yet. They bounce him forward instead of backwards. He gets an impale off. The dust is wearing low, and they will manage to catch him, but they're in a nasty position. They're inside the secret shop. They're going to try and play the high ground here. The jump forward. Madara's going to be caught by the chaotic offering, but does manage to time-lapse it off. They also jump forward onto Spartan, but Batrider's already down. Eclipse moving forward, does manage to clean up Spartan. Maybe next time leaves himself barely out of it, but the Luna is almost down. He gets burned out by the Radiance, and Madara searches for more. The Sand King and the Timbersaw, they might have gotten maybe next time, but they are dropped dangerously low. Alchemist is going to be able to come in, hits him with a concoction. That's a Timbersaw dead. A big kill for Ad Venom as they pick up their 4th kill in exchange for their 2 supports and an offlane.
What a slick play from Thug right there. He BOT'd. He wasn't that close to the Timbersaw, so he casted Unstable Concoction, BOT'd on a creep that was already moving towards the Timbersaw, and just bursted him down right as he was on top of them. And the Alchemist Illusions are just a little bit too much to handle. They had to blow so much to take the Nyx Assassin, but they were in a very compromising position, all clumped up to the north side of the Ancients. And Alchemists and Weaver thrive in that sort of environment when you're choked up. And Weaver got a decent amount of swarms on this. So Lasso comes out, there's just bugs everywhere, and they're already at low armor from the Acid Spray, combining that with a Swarm, and Madara is free to clean up. U9, he's at the bottom. He can't really do that much damage with Eclipse because of his positioning, and this BOT play from maybe next time, or from Thug, as they're trying to chase down SCCC was pretty big.
I mean, the fact that Skylark bought so much time there, and it put Newbie in such an aggressive position. They were just begging to slowly be chipped away by the damage over time. Thug, you could see the way that he kind of played the outer edges of that team fight, burning away at Newbie with that Radiance as he does so now, revealing 5 members right next to the Roshan pit. Quick denying that bounty rune, denying it away from Thug.
They need this area. If they lose this area, they'll lose the game. And look at the net worth graph. He's 22,000 versus the 10,000 of the 10% on the Luna. So, like, them two combined is still less than the Alchemist. And there are axe carriers in this game. Nyx Assassin, very good. Weaver, if you want to make the Alchemist even stronger, like Mirana can transition into a core, although she's building a scepter herself. So, like, they still have a lot of room to grow. And
he wasn't careful enough. SC, no vigilance here. KP is going to be caught as well by the impale. He tried to blink in, get a bro strike up, but Skylark strikes first. This offlaner beginning to shine now for Advenom. They're going to be able to run down some extra heroes. Poor Faith. He knows that he's done for. He sees Thug big and bad. Running forward on the Alchemist, claims that double kill. And presumably Advenom will be able to get an objective out of this as well. It's going to be Roshan. What they're going to be attempting here. Newbie, without their big team fight ultimates of both the Epicenter and Chaotic offerings, seem unlikely to be able to contest this, particularly with the heavy damage of Advenom. They try and come in, as he's just not going to be there in time for a Chakram. The Roshan will go down, and an Aegis picked up by the Alchemist. Now they're actually trying to turn. Skylark does stun up Kaka. They almost finish him off. They need a little bit more burn damage to make Kaka's sacrifice worth it. SC's going to be chased down by Madara at the same time. They disruption. Thug going to be pulled up on the cliff, but he does bounce back down over to Madara as he's still trying to chase down SC. KP thought about an Epicenter, started charging up. He cancels instead, opting for the stun, and that is going to be able to get the kill on Madara without the ultimate.
Advenom a little bit reckless as they move in, probably really happy about getting yet another chicken kill, but going in way too deep without the help of the Alchemist. Alchemist does not have the mobility that the Weaver has. Not that much increased move speed, no Blink Dagger, no Shadow Blade, no anything to go to where the Weaver was, all the way to the T2 tower. And they were already preoccupied killing the bat.
Yeah, and SC, he does have quite a large amount of armor to contend with that Desolator of Madara's. He's got both the reactive armor as well as the just plain plate mail.
Yep. Now he's going for the BKB, and the only damage they have through BKB is Luna, and Luna is still very underfarmed and does not have a BKB of her own. There's a Manta style, but I mean, Alchemist is just huge. He can easily just right-click those a couple of times, and they will all die. And there seems to be a lot more damage coming out from Advenom as maybe next time closes in on the last component of his axe.
I was just about to talk about, like, he's got the Aegis, he's got the 6 items, so U9, he's going to be caught here. Beautiful setup here by Skylark, and maybe next time. They're trying to force out something, force rotations, but they don't fully commit to that kill on the Luna. They back themselves away. Advenom are actually going to back up.
That's a lot of discipline. You can tell that they really want to win this.
Yeah,
like, normally you're just like, we'll go for it, even if we die worth, right? Because Luna. But you know, they know that they don't want to concede any other kills. At least give someone the Ags before. And who did he?
Oh, the arrow nailed him. He caught him on the right side of the map. Batrider thought he was going to be in position for a Firefly, but it's going to be Advenom who catch him first. The smoke rotation of Advenom works out. They're going to be able to push into this Tier 2 tower now, as it's going to be Newbie scrambling along the outer edges of the map looking for a split push.
I think the Ags is going to be complete. They can just give it to the Nyx Assassin and just park it up on the top side of the kill. And what can they really do? So let's see. Thug.
Is it Madara?
Oh, he gave it to Madara. Okay.
Yeah. Madara's going to be able to have that time lapse, which is in some ways even better, right? Because now they can park Thug up on the high ground. He has Aegis, and even if they eat through that, there's going to be a time lapse coming in as well.
And defensive disruption. So that's like pretty.
still have that chaotic offering to be dropped,
Oh,
but
God,
Thug is making it
these
so hard for
illusions.
Faith. He's already down to half HP. And then tier 3 about to fall. These illusions just will not stop. They keep on battering into these heroes. Faith is knocked all the way back to the fountain here, as now they're beginning to beat on the melee Rex. With the help of Madara, they're going to be able to go on to SC. SC drop low. KP trying to interrupt, though, with the Burrow Strike. Will allow SC to retreat, but now it's 4 members of Newbie ready to fight, while SC is going to regen up. This means their melee Rex is going to be forfeited.
They can't even kill the illusions.
They can't. They're just way too big.
That's depressing. That's really depressing. All the supports just have to run away, and that was just the disruption illusions, let alone the Manta illusions, let alone the rest of Ad Finum's heroes. So there was just very little chance of them actually killing the Alchemist, and there's still a minute left on this Aegis, and they have creeps in the mid lane, so don't even have to worry about backdoor protection.
Madara heading back for his BKB and uses time lapse. Come right back. Beating on this tier 2 tower. Ad Finum still have that Aegis. Oh,
Faith.
no way. Are they going to go for it? No, they're just going to let the illusions do their work. Maybe they can force Faith back to the fountain once again.
They need a big combo. Sand King, Epicenter into Fatal Bond's Warlock. That's pretty much all they can do. There is still no BKB on the Alchemist, nor...
Jump forward, there's their initiation. Immediately saw Skylight in place with the Spike Hair base. They try and drop the Chaotic Offering, catching multiple heroes here, but Thug is right in the middle, and so these heroes, and they're dropping low. Thug, he's hit by the Eclipse, brought down as SC gets the jump onto him, but still, Madara comes forward with his BKB. He's already cleaned up Faith, and Thug, this is round 2 with him. Yep. He's got his ultimate ready to go. They've got time lapse as well. Madara's just sitting in the back, ready to go. If they jump on Thug, this time around, they don't have their big ults.
That was everything that they had. I don't think Newbie have what it takes to fend off this just over-farmed Alchemist.
Skylark jumping forward, does manage to catch U9. They're going to combo stun him. KP just can't do anything about it. His Blink Dagger constantly stopped by Thug's illusion. They're going to buy back on U9. But KP is so low and struggling to be able to find space to be able to charge up an Epicenter and find a Blink. So at Finum, they see the melee Rax is down, a buyback force. They back themselves away in a domineering position.
And Newbie, what do they have left to do at this point? I'm trying to think of ways they can get back in the game. They've already lost 2 melee Rax, and there's still plenty of Ags left to be given on the Alchemist. So looking at this, they're trying to set up for a big combo over here as KP tries to follow up with a rock. But look at that 3-man stun coming out from Skylark, and Thug is at the front. Madara has used time lapse early, so can't use it on Thug right before he pops the Aegis, but no one died during that ultimate.
Spartan going crazy in the booth. He knows Ad Finum are just moments away from being able to claim this game 3 in a single elimination against one of the toughest teams out there.
So
Newbie.
Maybe a base race might be their best option. Luna is actually really good at sieging the T4s.
Newbie need to do something a little bit crazy. They start pushing into that tier 2, but they're
I think
begging
crazy
to back up.
is the best choice that they have right now.
I mean, they're actually trying to run the Luna all the way back here. He doesn't actually have a TP scroll. Newbie are trying to push back on the Alchemist, slow him down at the bare minimum until Luna comes in from behind with that Eclipse.
Faith might die on the right side.
Oh,
these
Jesus,
illusions.
these illusions just will not stop. Faith is dead. Between the combination of bugs, the illusions burned. Now U9's going to be targeted. He doesn't have a BKB, so he's going to be whomped on by all these heroes. Bounce back by the jump. KP comes forward. He does manage to catch by a Madara, but it doesn't matter. Newbie, they are so ineffective. They can't stop Ad Finum. Ad Finum going crazy inside the booth, cheering, yelling in one unified voice. This is Sparta. This is Ad Finum on the main stage, taking down Newbie.
A standing ovation from the crowd as they top Newbie 2-1 off the back of some very nice bounty hunter play and an Alchemist in game number 3.
Gotta love it. Ad Finum showing so much emotion. And on the other side, Newbie.
Valiant effort. They had a really tough group, and I guess you can consider it a bit of an upset because Newbie were, in fact, second in their group, only behind BP.
Yeah, we talked about them right alongside Wings. They were one of the 5 teams that people looked at to be able to be a top contender for the tournament, but matched up against BP in the groups, and Ad Finum here on the main stage, they do fall. Standing ovation indeed from the crowd as they welcome Ad Finum. quite the upset here.
Newbie probably a little bit heartbroken. I think they have been doing pretty well these past months, but just not at their peak at this particular moment, as opposed to Finum, who have just been steadily on the rise. Such an easy team to like.
Finum, we will see more of them. Of course, this is not the last series. We still have one more team that's going to be eliminated out of this nasty single elimination here at the Boston Major. And I'm sure our analysts have some thoughts. Finum, I know there are at least a couple of those panelists that are going to be super happy about an Finum win. They said they were biased.
Yeah.
I want to see it now.
The sign behind you, Cap, says it best. Winum. I love that. That is such a fantastic series. You must have had a great pleasure just telling that story. I mean, Finum overcoming Newbie in a full 3 games, as they seem to, or only exclusively do.
I got the opportunity to cast a similar story of Finum when they first came up in MLG Austin.
Yeah.
They played a best-of-1 against probably the favorite of the tournament at the time, Evil Geniuses, and they managed to pull out that upset. And even if that tournament wasn't theirs, that win was something special.
It was.
I think, for them.
Smarten's still rocking that hat.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it meant a lot to him.
I mean,
did.
How often do you see Dota players celebrating before the GG call? Like, literally just like they're up in their seats, they're still playing, they have to call a pause in one game just because they have to get their hands back on the mouse and keyboard to finish.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a more emotional team than Finum, especially in a win.
Yeah, they're the most exuberant team that I've seen ever.
Yes.
Exuberant. We'll leave it there. Thanks very much, Merlini and Capitalist. And Finum have completed their mission for today. By no means is it the end of the story, though. They have got themselves a spot in the quarterfinals and another Chinese team going home. So far in the quarterfinals, not a single Chinese presence, and we have just got 1 game left, and fortunately that is a guarantee. LGD versus LGD.Forever Young, but we'll get to that because we have to address this series. Fog, we'll start with you, just kind of opening up on that series. Still so much emotion from Finum. If you could explain to everyone why there is so much hype and raw emotion coming out from Finum getting to the quarterfinals.
I mean, look at these guys. Look at how much love they have. Like, how happy they are to be winning this, happy to be stepping forward. It's a small step in the schemes of the tournament, but it's a big step to be beating a team like Newbie, being one of the teams that we are all looking at as, like, what, top 4, top 5 in this tournament. It's definitely huge for them. They played incredible. They had definitely an idea of what they wanted to do, approaching versus Newbie, executed it to the extreme level. I mean, never have I been so happy to be wrong in my prediction.
That's a nice way to put it. And Shiva, you know, we framed it like as so that Newbie were top favorites for this one.
Yes, they were. Yeah, Finum definitely coming in as the underdog, and it's just, you know, you see these guys play, and I think I saw a post somewhere saying, you know, these guys are so real, so genuine, and this is how Dota should be played. You know, that they're out there, their emotions are, you know, they carry their hearts on their sleeves. If it goes well, they're shouting. They're loud. It was so amazing to watch that. I love that we can see all the reactions from the players as well. It's great to see.
Yeah, a big victory for them and the biggest tournament that they've found themselves in. We will continue to understand exactly what went wrong and right for either side of the stage, but someone is waiting on the stage and we don't want to keep him waiting. He's got some celebrating to do. Spartan is standing by with slacks.
Hello, hello. I've got Spartan right here. The crowd is going wild. Let me tell you about this man here. Spartan, could you show them your hands? This man, what did you do?
Actually, I just hit the table because, yeah, we didn't believe that we would win. Yeah, and I don't know, man. It's just, just emotions.
All right, blood, sweat, and tears, honestly. Okay, I got to try something I've never done before in my life. You're such a, I just want to give you the mic and let you talk to the crowd. You're a hype guy. You can talk to them. Go ham. Give us something here.
Woo! Okay. Hello. We're here for this, right? We're here for this. I don't know what to say, actually. This is our dream. You know it. And I don't know. That's it. Seriously.
That's good. Give it up for this man. The dreams. All right. Very good. So let me ask you here. You guys, one of the biggest events you're at, the biggest event, when stuff is going on, like you're getting those maybe next time courier snipes, you're feeling the roar of the crowd, you're looking out at these guys. What does that do to you? Does that affect you in any way?
Yeah, actually, when maybe sniped 3 couriers, we got all, we got all the hype that we need. We got all the hype, and we believe that we can win. And yeah, actually, maybe did the half work for us. Half work, and the other half work we did, like, for the, maybe did the 50% and we did the other 50.
All right. This is the most mobile interview I've ever had. We've slowly walked out the whole stage. All right. Talk to me about your carry. Give me a review about Madara on his Morphling. I want to hear it from you, how well he did.
Okay, so yesterday we played the Scream, and I just randomly picked a Morphling, and I saw him handling Morphling very well, and I just trust him, and I just pick it. That we didn't practice at all with Morphling. That's it. We didn't practice at all. We just played one game. Yeah, that's it.
You did all that on one game?
Yeah, one game.
All right. Well, geez, that was one hell of a game. Now I got a tough question for you. Who do you think you'll be playing next?
Whoa. Who do we face, though? I don't remember.
It's LGD versus LGD.
Oh, LGD.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right, fantastic. Well, there we go. You can feel the hype, the blood coming out of this team, and we will see them face off against one of the LGDs very soon. Thank you.
Oh, quite the statement there from Spartan. He's definitely on cloud 9, but at this point in time, I did it again, these accidental rhymes. But the point I'm trying to make is that Spartan has obviously just thrown down the gauntlet. You're in single elimination. Single elimination, the biggest tournament you've ever been in for your team, and you play something that you accidentally picked in a scrim. Is he joking?
Up against the ropes, like that was their potential final game.
They could have been eliminated.
It's like, hey, Madara, you want to play this hero that you never played a professional game before? Or at least not
He's
not
played
recently?
one scrim.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you're quite good. Do you want to go ahead and play for our tournament lives with it?
It was a great pick though.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was like exactly what they needed. It was great versus the draft. Like Winter said, there wasn't any like real silences to deal with it. They did have a bunch of stuns to deal with the Morphling, but it was just a perfect pick to solidify their 4 Protect 1 draft.
Yeah, a slap in the face for Newbie in that second series, and they've done it again. Adfinum finishing it in 3. Winter, we've yet to hear from you. Your review of this series, or rather this game, number 3rd in the series.
Well, I just thought they were crazy when they did the support barrier. I was like, what's going on? What were they trying to do? I was trying to find a reason, and I guess probably the idea was to have a support that could roam and steal the out stacks, because you can't really do that with other supports. But it just didn't work out for them. Like, they didn't get much from the supposedly strong lane that they had, the Sand King plus Bat Rider lane. Like KP struggled like that game. He was left alone on the bottom lane because the Bat Rider was off roaming, trying to zone the Alchemist in the mid lane, placing wards, trying to steal stacks. So they did not have any support for the Sand King.
Do you think it was maybe just they kind of got in their own heads a bit? Like playing versus Weaver and Nyx, they're like, okay, these heroes are extremely good versus a Bat Rider core. Maybe we can just like throw them off a bit. Maybe Adfinum just got into their heads a little bit.
It's possible, but at the end of the day, what won them the previous game? They won their lanes. So for this game, they did not go back to the winning formula, which is winning your lanes.
Right. Yep. Tried something different, and it worked out.
Yeah, Adfinum won their lanes real hard. Maybe not even. I'm not sure how much effect Bat Rider had on that, because they had a great start getting that first blood with Arrow into a disruption up top, so that Skylark could get a great start in his Nyx Assassin. And overall, they looked pretty solid. They looked like they had a plan for the laning stage as well, and I'm not sure how much Newbie could have disrupted that, even if they did have a different pick.
Yeah,
instead
I
of
mean,
Bat Rider.
to be honest, it was a very good Alchemist pick. They have Shadow Demon, so Newbie are always going to be struggling against the clock. They have to do something.
Yeah.
But I still felt like they could have done it with their heroes. They just needed to win their lanes harder. Like Timber was like owning the Alchemist at the start of the game, but the other lanes were not going well for them. So even if Timber is winning his lane, the other lane is going bad, and Alchemist was able to farm because other lanes are having so much of a trouble. Like, they needed to help the other lane, so Alchemist, in the end of the day, he was still able to get a really good timing on the Radiance plus Armlet.
Yeah, he actually gave himself that too, because even though he was struggling a bit in the laning phase, like you're mentioning, he was stacking his own Ancients for himself, so he had a contingency plan. So I thought that was a really cool approach.
And his supports did so much again. Once again, maybe next time on the Mirana. He killed the courier again, and he set up so many good vision on the map with his arrows, placed very deep wards. Like, that guy is just, I think, the backbone of their early game.
Yeah.
Adfinum's early game relies a lot on him doing very well.
I mean, we heard from Spartan, he said those courier kills, albeit from the Bounty Hunter and now with Morana, were 50% of the hype needed, and then they did the other 50%. Is it something? I mean, no, it's not something we can quantify or measure, but you know.
I mean, if your supports, dude, if your supports are like winning the early game for you and they're yelling, I mean, I'm already done with my job. I did this much. It's time for you to repay what I did in the early game.
Right. So like you've done the groundwork. You've set the foundations, and then they have to build upon it.
Yep.
For a team like this too, like the hype is, it actually matters a lot for them. Maybe some other teams you might say like, okay, like that's like cool, it's a good job. Like maybe a slight little thing. For this team, they're probably just screaming like, yeah, like good job, you got the go here, dude. Like,
because
it's definitely a big deal.
It means our hard work pay off because they were together for more than 1 year. That's why it means more to them than they're hungrier than Newbie. Newbie won a lot of events before that. They are definitely not as hungry as Adfinum.
For an emotional team like this, it is also, when you are ahead, it is so easy to just get caught in that, oh my god, we're ahead. But the fact that they kept their cool and actually kept having that control over the game says so much about what they can accomplish as a team.
So much love for these celebrations. I
and
mean,
that's where he basically...
That's where his hand started bleeding.
The PTL guy in the booth's like, oh my god, I hope I don't get hurt here. You see the whole booth is shaking from them.
But I mean, it's a beautiful story. These guys, I can see like almost tears in your eyes, Sheev, because they've been together for a year. They work so
dream,
hard.
You know?
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that they are working together for their dream, and they got to the quarterfinals. I mean, they're not there yet by far, but the fact that this is already their dream.
I mean, remember what happened to MVP 2 years ago? When they won, like March was like, I'm gonna go to the army. This is my last TI.
Oh, jeez,
and then that was also
emotional moments.
There has not been. I don't think anyone here that's had permanently dry eyes. And honestly, throughout this has just been a very emotional day. The fantastic spotlights we got to see KP. That one got me and Folt going. It's just been. It's just been a very eye-opening and a wonderful experience here at the Boston Major so far, and the scoreboard will open some eyes as well. It will help demonstrate exactly where some of those winning moments did come from, and I mean, as you cast your eyes down that one, Folt, Winter, what is standing out? The Madara Weaver you've already been singing praises about, but what else?
I think it's just Thug only having one death. That one death wasn't even that big of a deal. When he did die, he picked up his Radiance recipe right before it happened. But other than that, I mean, you look at the Mirana and just the supports from Adfinum. Look at that, 18 assists on the two of them. This shows that they were completely in unison, making movements together. Not like the Shadow Demon going to do one thing by himself without the Mirana. They were just like playing very, very smart Dota, very, very together.
Yeah, their support back rider on the newbie side just didn't work out, like 0 and 8.
Yeah.
And our MVP for the match, Spartan, the captain.
Rightfully so. Emotional leader, solid drafts all throughout the series. Maybe first one. He actually literally bled for his team. There's not a lot of captains that can say that.
That is that
was a lot of courage for him to go back for the same draft after losing the first. Like, that tells you a lot about the captain. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that you are summarizing this by having the audacity to bring the same draft that didn't work the first into the second and then complete the reverse sweep. Concede the first, win the following two. Adfinum, the storyline will continue for them, and we're going to go ahead and understand how that third game went their way with Purge.
A lot of it really came down to just how well they did to pressure the enemy team. And, you know, the enemy Batrider didn't really work out too well either. The first initiation, this is basically at the start of the game here. First kill happened just as the laning started, and killing that support and giving the gold to the Nyx Assassin gave him a huge advantage. That's Boot's movement speed. There's a gank later, a couple minutes. Again, rotating around, putting some pressure on the Timber. They didn't actually kill him in this one, but to get his HP that low and force him when he's got this much regen, he doesn't even have a bottle or anything. He's got to go back to base from that one. Really good pressure there. And then Newbie on the other side doing some pressure of their own, setting up for a gank on the mid lane with Batrider kind of doing what he can. But the important thing is that despite them TPing, they instantly turned this into a gank. A little bit later in this clip here, he actually followed the Sand King all the way to the bot lane, and they followed up on that immediately afterwards. And just reducing the amount of downtime that you have on a gank just accomplishes so much more, because then your opponents don't see it coming. Nice play by Skylark here to block the Burrow Strike escape opportunity, and then they corral him into a little bit of a four-man blow-up kind of situation. Eventually they do get some successful gank off, but the important thing is that Thug is inches away, just barely there, about 50 gold away from finishing his Radiance, and, you know, Acid Spray OP, and that's going to tick him over right before he gets killed. So even though the pressure did eventually come out from Newbie, the fact that his Radiance started here kind of just made everything not matter in a long ways. And we can pretty much just see that here if we take a look at the end game net worth. Yeah, he's a little ahead, and that's pretty much why they just snowballed at the end.
Woo, a little ahead. Yeah, absolutely perfect from Purge and perfect from that Alchemist at the end there, making bank.
Yeah, I really love the approach that Adfinum did in this game too. Like we mentioned it as soon as they picked up the Weaver, it just gave the potential for the supports to just move around and make all the space in the world, and they utilized it perfectly. They even had the late game, if like everything kind of went to crap, they even had that potential of like buying Aghanims for every single one of the other heroes. The Alchemist obviously being able to gift it to the Shadow Demon, to the Nyx, to the Mirana. I mean, Mirana was building his own, but all those are incredibly strong ones, including the Weaver as well. So they had like a kind of a, yeah, it was just like a super plan.
Yeah, they had these backup plans, and well, it turns out they didn't need them. Alchemist was rolling in bank, but so are Adfinum now, as they have just doubled their money, going into the six-figure, well, realm of six figures, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. They are going to be very happy with that one, but the Greeks will be happy. There's more to be seen, though, here in the Boston Major. Another game to be coming up. Newbie eliminated, and now it's time for LGD versus LGD.Forever Young. It's time to have at least one team in those quarterfinals, and one Chinese team, I should specify. After the break, we'll be jumping into that LGD domestic affair. We hope to see you there.
Next matchup, LGD-Gaming versus LGD.Forever Young.
You guys ever heard of the ghost? The ghost! The ghost of the Wang Theater! The ghost of Mr. Wang! No? I think we can go find him. Follow me, kids! Adam, is that the tomb of Mr. Yang? Is that where his haunted spirit lays to rest, dude?
I think that's the analyst desk.
Is that the analyst desk?
I'm pretty sure it's the analyst desk.
Yeah, that is. Okay. All right, come on. I think I found somebody over here, Twee. Who is this man?
I think he's making the battle view.
He's the guy who made the battle view? Yeah, he's dead, all right. That's a ghost. Let's keep going. What is this thing, Eric? Is this the tombstone of Mr. Wang? His lost coliseum of tortured souls?
No, this is Purge's weather desk.
Really? Do you think?
It's pretty scary, though.
This is Purge's station. Then where is Purge? Oh, God!
Stay away from my shit.
Run, kid! Run! I think we did it, guys. That's him. That's the ghost of Mr. Wang. He's right here.
My last name is Yang, you moron.
Oh, God, get down. Some people think that us gamers are not an educated or fancy people, that we are not elegant and have no interest in the finer things. Well, we here at the Wang Theater, Boston Major, are here to prove you wrong. We can be elegant in these elegant settings. We can be thought-provocative and intelligent. And I'll grab a few random fans and see if they agree. What is your name, sir?
William.
William, a regal name. Wonderful. Welcome to the Wang, sir. What can you tell me about this beautiful architecture?
Well, the Wang Theater was created in 1925 by Clarence Blackwell.
Oh, wow.
A legendary craftsman.
Gracious. Those chandeliers, though.
Pilfered from the tombs of the British during the First World War.
I believe it.
Beautifully restored and then hung here in Boston.
Gracious me, you can tell the craft and the gold. It's like angels themselves visit us.
Baroque.
Baroque, sir. A Baroque architecture.
Yes, styled after 17th and 18th century Britain.
My good gracious me, what a fact. What is your name, sir?
My name is Chris, but you may call me the Earl.
Earl Chris, can you tell me of this grand ceiling? Look at its art.
I think it is quite magnificent. It was painted by Michelangelo himself in the early 1700s.
My God!
You could say it is Evangelion in style with all these angels.
Indeed.
They seem to be working with the gods themselves.
Yes, to bring us amazing Dota. You can tell by, it's like heaven itself is brought to us at the Wang, sir.
Yes, the Wang has brought us heaven and has brought us Dota. So where is Zeus?
Why, Zeus? Maybe he will get picked up, sir. Used in a game, sir.
Perhaps, maybe by wings.
Yeah, wings of angels.
Wings of white. Carry me on.
Your name, sir?
Sir Daniel of Smithtown.
Sir Daniel Smithtown, what do you think of this beautiful art here at the Huang?
It is a mysterious, unclothed, abstract mystery, similar to the meta of this event at the Boston Major.
Oh, what a deep understanding you have of art, sir.
It is quite grandiose. It evokes feelings of wonder and awe within me.
Much like the rest of the venue, so fancy, so godly, some would say.
It's just thrust upon you, and you have no idea how to handle it.
The Wang was
beauty
thrusted,
and greatness.
Sir. Yes.
Thrusted upon us with great force.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you see now? Gamers are not just Doritos, Mountain Dew, chugging fools. We are men of culture, of art, and that is expressed here at the Wang.